Kings High School, the home of the Knights. ICRC-TV Sports is pleased to present the Southwest Ohio Football Coaches Association Ron Woyan All-Star Game. Tonight, the East All-Stars will be taking on the West All-Stars. Hello, everyone. I'm Glenn Olson, joined in the booth tonight by Josh Simstrot. We have a great crew on hand here at Kings High School to bring you all this exciting football action, which will finally wrap up the 2018 football season, Josh.
Yeah, it's been that long season, and for these seniors out here, it's going to be their last go round. And Glenn, here in Cincinnati, we've got that awesome high school football culture here, and for these guys, this is just like a citywide backyard football game. But this one is their last one. It's their last one, so it's all out. It's just an all-star game, but it's all out for this all-star game.
Let's bring in the third member of our broadcast team. Patrick Geshen will be patrolling the sidelines for us.
All right, guys, thank you so much, and welcome to Kings High School this evening. Now, the East-West All-Star Game was started back in 1971. It's kind of a reward for high school football players who are going to be graduating or who have already graduated to kind of come in and play a final high school football game to officially wrap things up for their high school career. And players are chosen to play in this game based off of good character and talent on and off the field. Now, the East All-Stars have won the last 4 of these games played here at Kings High School, including a 34-19 win last season. The West looking for their first win in 5 years, trying to get back on track tonight, guys, in what should be a really good one with a great night here at Kings High School.
Yeah, indeed, Patrick. It is a great night here at Kings High School. Relatively cool weather and low humidity. A uniform change this year for these players. The East All-Stars in black uniforms. The West All-Stars in white and normally black uniforms. And summertime weather on field turf don't go together, but hopefully it's not too much of an issue tonight. Let's talk about the coaches who are going to be leading these teams from both sidelines tonight, Josh.
Yeah, we got, for East, we've got head coach Scott Jordan out of Waynesville High School, and he's got his own quarterback and Anthony Carmichael down there with him as well tonight. So we'll have Coach Jordan up in Waynesville, coming off a very successful season, graduate of Carlisle High School and Wright State University, and down there in Xavier. He's in his 11th year at Waynesville, and he's got a great staff behind him with Justin Isaacs from SCD, Barrick Folk from Mason High School, Zach Edwards from Middletown, and Greg Pickett from Milford.
Over on the west sideline tonight, we have Lee Johnson from Northwest trying to break through and get the West their first win in quite some time.
Yeah, and like we said, it's been a long time for West. They've just got the one win in the past 12 years, so Coach Johnson's got a heavy task ahead of him tonight. Head football coach from Northwest High School, and he'll have his quarterback, Damon Cherry, with the carry out there tonight. Graduate of Clarksville Northeast High School in Tennessee and Cumberland University. So, again, he's got a big task with him, but a great staff. Harry McCall from Aiken, Brandon Mitchell from Taft, Roger Horton from Hughes, and Anthony Berry from Taft. So we'll see if his head coaching squad can't lead these kids to the first West victory in quite some time.
Well, these games are usually a high-flying, high-scoring affair. A lot of times, as you said in our open or at the beginning of our pregame show, it's backyard football. Draw it up in the huddle. Everybody run a post, and we'll toss it up and see what happens. So it should be a great night of football. We're pleased you're joining us tonight on ICRC-TV Sports. We're going to step away and be back with the opening kickoff in just a moment.
Comets win! There's a nice feed by Hunter! And Baisley with the rip. Dean Larry, you got to load that one up. Hey.
Oh, got a little wink action there.
Hey. And set. The Warriors in the state final!
Recognizable landmarks in the entire state of Ohio. The replica of the Eiffel Tower next door at Kings Island. Home of summer fun for just about every high school kid who's spent any part of their life in Cincinnati. Sitting just to the northeast a touch is Kings High School. Once again, we're bringing you the Ron Woyan East-West All-Star Game, made up of seniors playing, for many of them, their last football game.
Yeah, and you can see all the different helmets down there on the sideline, Glenn. We'll have the West in white tonight, the East in black, and yeah, like I said in the pregame, it's just this citywide neighborhood backyard football game kind of feel to it. And for these seniors, it's their last one. A lot of people say, oh, it's just an all-star game. To these guys, some of them, it's their last organized football game that they play.
For sure. So the pregame festivities have concluded. The coin toss was held while we were away. The East won and deferred, as has become the custom in pretty much every level of football now. So the West team will be receiving the football.
What you're seeing, Glenn, for those of you at home that are seeing the helmets that are littered with multiple stickers, is a really cool thing that these guys do is they get to trade the stickers on their helmets. So you'll see a lot of these guys wearing, see there, some Roger Bacon, Harrison, Northwest, all on the helmets there, Reading. And these guys love this, just getting to, I mean, you know, the fierce competition we have here in Cincinnati high school football in the fall to come together at the end for one last ride with all your friends, whether you went to school with them or not, to celebrate that high school football culture we have here. It's a really great thing to see from these kids.
Set to kick off for the East team. Number 23, Cam Anderson of Waynesville.
For the West, Kevon Sanks and Jamal Kelly.
Sanks and Kelly back deep for the East, courtesy of our PA announcer. Saved me the trouble of looking him up. Your official tonight is Mike Harbison. Will introduce his cohorts as the game progresses. But a beautiful night for football, a touch overcast. We're hoping the rain holds off. Relatively low humidity, so hopefully none of those pesky pop-up storms that have threatened us in the past here at this game. We're pleased to bring it to you, and we are underway from Kings High School. The kick is fielded inside the 5-yard line, very nearly into the end zone. A good return out past the 20, and will be brought down at the 23-yard line. That's number 11, Jamal Kelly of ICRC school, the Mount Healthy Owls.
Mount Healthy Owls, and we got a few Mount Healthy Owls out there tonight. Coming off a great season over there.
It'll be first and 10 from the 20.
I was thinking driving up here today, head coach Harvey Crouch has been a friend of ICRC for a long time, and I don't know what the selection process to get these head coaches in place, but I don't want Harvey in that offense for doing this all-star game one year. I think we need to get a petition going, get him down on the sideline for this game. All right, so underway with the first offensive series for the West All-Stars. A little bit of a high snap, but it's handled off successfully, and breaking out into the open close to midfield. It's number 28, Ty Mincy of Mount Healthy. Many of you are familiar with Mincy's story. He had to sit out the first half of the football season due to some transfer issues, and I believe he was bitten by the injury bug along the way. So getting things going for the West right off the bat is a powerhouse of a runner, Ty Mincy. The West will cross into East territory. Let's go back and take a replay, Josh, of the big run to start the game for Mincy.
Yeah, you saw him be patient there and then slip one tackle, and then he's gone. And you can just see right there as he shrugs a couple off and just keeps chugging along. Big, big boy right there in Ty Mincy, 5'9", 215. And yeah, Glenn, you said he had transferred back to Mount Healthy from after he went to Withrow for a year. Had to sit the first 5 games because of the OHSA transfer rules and was fighting an injury bug. And still, the 4 games that he played, he had 440 rushing yards, 8 touchdowns, 6 yards on average.
Michael Crawford at quarterback, a design run, and he's going to be stopped for another loss. So now the West is back into their half of the field. It's going to set up a 3rd and long situation for Lee Johnson and his offensive charges.
3rd and 14.
3rd and 14 officially. Ball's going to be spotted just over the 49-yard line, approaching midfield. Plays a little slow to come into the sideline.
And Glenn, that's an entire Mount Healthy backfield, actually. Because you got Michael Crawford back there from Mount Healthy at quarterback, and he's going to have to air one out here if they want to get a first down.
In motion again is Pitts from Fairfield. To wrap up, Josh, we can talk about that throughout the game, but softball is now done. I believe track and field done. Baseball heading up to Akron this year.
Yep.
It'll be first
Just
and
finishing
10
up.
for the
No,
East.
Roger Bacon
Yeah.
going for a championship run this year.
What a great story. You know, Roger Bacon had some success in basketball the last couple years, maybe a couple of rebuilding years the last couple of years, and then this baseball team comes out of nowhere and it makes a charge.
Yeah, really unexpected run from the Roger Bacon boys. And the coach was saying it's been 50 years since the Roger Bacon baseball program has made that kind of run. He's not sure if it's really
Josh
set
Taylor
in
is the
for
ball
them yet, the
carrier.
history that they're making down there.
Josh Taylor starts at quarterback for the
He's
East.
tackled by
He's a
Mikael
Western Brown
Muhammad.
Bronco. 6 foot, 190 pounds.
It'll be second and 10.
No gain on his first carry of the game. The clock approaching the 9-minute mark.
And Glenn, if we go back to last year's All-Star game, what you saw early was a big fight for possession. And you'll notice here, big second down, and they're still at the 10-yard line. What you want to see out of West here is to get this stop and have a short field to work with, and that's what got them out last year on that quick run. And like we said, we touched on in the pregame, it's been one win in the last 12 years for
Right.
West. So they can't fall into that short field game that the East will want to play tonight.
Yeah, kind of frustrating how the West has not found a way to break through. I mean, let's face it, it's different players every year. It's different coaches every year. And even though the game's played here at the, I guess you consider this the east side of town, even though we're north.
Sure, yeah.
We're north. You know, Kings players are playing on the East squad. Just makes you wonder what it's going to take for this West squad to break through and get a commanding lead and hang on to it. The West was out early last year.
Well, it's not like it's far away, as you just saw the crowd there. We got a packed house tonight at Kings
Yeah.
Stadium. It's not like it's far game for anyone, but East 11-1 in the last 12 years.
Taylor's going to pass it over the right side. The pass is caught, breaking toward the far sideline, and he steps out of bounds
Josh Taylor's
before
pass
he
is
gets
complete
to
Andre
midfield.
Allen Jr.
What a catch and run by Andre Allen Jr. of Walnut
He's
Hills.
taken out of
He's
bounds
listed
by
at
Jalen
5'9",
Engelman.
but he played about 6'8" to go up and get this football.
Yeah, watch him get that and then just get enough space out of there from number 25 and White to track
catch
that
run
down
goes
and
for
get that
35
yards
It'll be first
after
and 10
reception
for the
there.
East.
Great rackability from the kid.
So 1st and 10 from their own 45 for the East. 8 minutes to go in the opening quarter of this East-West All-Star game. Uh-oh, almost had 2 men in motion there. We'll shift to the left side and get heavy on the near sideline. Taylor is going to run it on a draw and maybe lose a yard.
Josh Taylor is the
Could
ball
not
carrier.
quite get back to the
He's brought down
line
by
of
Nebulon
scrimmage from where that
Stevens.
play started.
Great penetration there from the East, or excuse me, the West
The play
defense.
lost a yard.
You see it
It'll be
opened up
second
there
and
for a
11.
minute, but those linebackers converged immediately on Taylor.
2nd and 11. Late substitution here for the East squad. They're wearing the black jerseys and pants with the white stripes tonight. In case you're tuning in late, West All-Stars and the white with black stripes. A little bit of a uniform change this year. Send it down to Patrick after this play. Taylor keeps it again. He's going to get about 2 yards
Josh Taylor is the
before
ball
he's wrapped
carrier.
up. Let's send it down to Patrick Geshen.
With Damon Cherry, and if you're a SWOC football fan, you probably
He's
heard of this
tackled by
kid before, the
Mikael
quarterback at
Muhammad.
Northwestern. Damon, tell us what you're doing next year at your major in your college.
I tend to go
It'll
on
be
Hocking
3rd and
Community
9.
College and majoring in business.
Sounds good. Why business?
Just to give me something to go on when I get out of college. Something quick.
Nice, nice. So tell me about this year. What was fun about your senior year of high school football?
I'm going to be honest, it wasn't really that much fun because we lost a lot of games, but I had fun playing with the players that I was playing with, helping the younger kids develop and things like that.
What was your first reaction when you heard you were going to play in this game?
I was excited. I was very excited. I was
Josh
ready
Taylor's
to go.
pass is intended for
Well,
Will
Damon, best
Eads.
of luck. Thanks for doing this, and have fun out tonight.
It's
Damon
ball
Cherry out of
incomplete.
Northwest. Glenn.
It'll be 4th
Thanks.
and 9.
Damon and Patrick. While we were away, Josh Taylor was looking down the far sideline for Will Eads and just overshot him by a touch.
Josh
So
Taylor
that's
back
going to
in punt
set up
formation.
4th and 9 for the East from their own 46-yard line. Back in punt formation, looks like Josh Taylor. Familiar name.
How's your pitch to receive?
Man, that was a Great, honest answer from Damon Cherry, a guy who just loves to win, hates losing.
Not the greatest punt in the world. Pitts from Fairfield, Hygier Pitts will stay away from it, and the East All-Stars down the ball at the 20-yard line. So good enough starting position for the West All-Stars. And yes, I agree with you. You know, if you're playing varsity football and playing a quarterback position, you've got a competitive fire in you, right?
Oh, yeah, especially in this area.
Those rebuilding years just stink. Not only, you know, especially for the players and the staff, they're the ones that put the time in, but the fans and the community and the school, it makes for a long fall. And I don't know about you, typically my fall memories were much more prevalent from my high school years
Right.
back in the Stone Ages than my spring memories, and a lot of that has to do with high school football.
Well, I was talking with him before the game, and he does have fun with the game. And, yeah, rebuilding years are tough and everything, but that kid just loves the game, loves playing quarterback out there.
Crawford's going to keep it himself. He'll be brought down at the 25-yard line, so a gain of 5.
Michael Crawford is the ball
Michael
carrier.
Crawford of the Mount Healthy Owls. Looks like it's going to be some new faces for this upcoming football season
Tackles
for
made
Harvey
by
Crouch
Finn
and the
Will
Fighting
Woodruff.
Owls.
Crawford, great kid, great all-around leader, recipient of the SWOFCA Sportsmanship Award. He ranked 5th in both passing yards and rushing yards, 547 passing yards, 967 rushing yards in his senior year.
Hand off to Mincy. He bullies his way for an extra yard by lowering his shoulder on the left side. So it's going to bring up a third and manageable situation, 3rd and 2.
He's brought down by Anthony Molinari.
Maybe a yard and a half, but we'll call it 2 from our vantage point.
And those two on their legs are just such a threat in the backfield.
It'll
Remember
be
that
3rd
Mincy
and
only
3.
played 4 games, but combined, these two have 16 rushing touchdowns in their senior years.
So we had an adjustment of the down indicator, so it's really going to be just over a yard. So 3rd and 1. That's what's reflected on the scoreboard. Crawford fakes the handoff to Mincy, keeps it himself, spin move, and that spin is what got him the first down. He's going to be marked down just across the 30-yard line, so he got that extra yard he needed.
And that's what I'm talking about, Glenn, that little option pass, especially with those two being so familiar with each other and then fighting for that extra yardage.
His run's good for 4 yards. It'll be first down.
Great job
for
by
the West.
Crawford.
Fresh set of downs for the West All-Stars, who have set up camp on the near sideline here at Kings High School. Do want to give a shout out to the Kings football program and parents for helping to man the stadium tonight, the ticket gate, up here in the press box as well. Some of the players out collecting some parking money, trying to raise some money for the program.
He's brought down by Joseph Lusby
Gain of 1.
for the East.
For Mincy.
It'll be 2nd and 9.
So 2nd and 9, things slowed down a little bit for the West. Trying to get the play in from Lee Johnston and his staff he's put together for this All-Star game.
And from my understanding, Glenn, the ticket sales, or at least most of them for this game, go to scholarships that are made available for students.
Crawford's going to pass. He's got his man out in front and just off of the fingertips of Jamal Kelly, also a Mount Healthy teammate.
Michael Crawford's pass falls
Boy, this
incomplete.
place would have lit up if the Mount Healthy
It's intended for
Owls had just
Jamal
connected
Kelly.
in the All-Star game for the first score. And
you're going to see it on the replay, just off of the
Natron
fingertips.
Webster on the coverage for the East.
man,
And maybe even the palms just could not quite bring it in. So big gamble on 2nd down. Now you're in that 3rd and long situation. 3 minutes to go.
It's 3rd
You're,
and 9.
you know, on the 30-yard line in your own territory, 32, let's call it. They have another big play in them. Crawford calls for the ball. He's looking to pass, dances around, rolls to his right side. He's under pressure. He's able to make the turn. He's going to keep it, but be forced out of bounds at the 31-yard line. So he's going to end up losing a yard on that scramble.
For the East.
Glenn, the coverage here for East was fantastic. The only option Crawford had there was to go underneath with it, and elected to keep it himself, and I'm not sure that wasn't a
It's
good
4th and
decision
11.
on his part to do so.
You have to wonder when you're going to start seeing a little trickeration come
Back
out
to
to
receive
try to
for
catch
the
a
East,
defense sleeping,
Shandon
a flea
Morris.
flicker, or a
And
halfback
Nakeem
That's what I
pass.
was saying earlier. These all-star games, especially with special teams, you really don't know what's going to happen. Of course, we're still early in the game here, so we'll see an end over end.
Yep. It's fielded inside the 30-yard line by Shandon Morris of
Tyler
Middletown, and
Hendricks'
he's
punt is
brought
fielded
down
by Shandon Morris.
immediately.
Devarius Turner from Western Hills.
Let's take a look at it here. Runs backwards and wrong way, young man, says the defender.
Feltha from Reading, it looks like.
Yeah. And we do apologize. In these all-star games, you get some late additions and deletions to the roster, and we're going to miss some names or maybe misidentify someone, and please know it's not on purpose for the family and friends. Just work with the information that's provided to us, and these rosters are pretty fluid up until the day before the game, I would imagine. Handoff to the right side for Elijah Williams. Or excuse me, that's Nakeem Williams of Kings, and he's going to score one more touchdown on his home turf. Our ICRC fans know Nakeem Williams had quite the game against the Milford Eagles back in the regular season. And there's something you don't get to do in the regular season. Is have a little fun
Peekaboo, there he is.
for the touchdown. But Nakeem Williams
Boy, watch that little fake there. They had him going immediately. They thought that was going the other way.
And one of the defenders inadvertently opened up a good hole for him. Or a good path over on the right side. So in to attempt the extra point is Cam Anderson of Waynesville. It's a high kick, high spinning kick, and it's wide to the right, no good.
The point after by Cam Anderson is no good.
This didn't sound right coming off his foot,
With
Josh, and you
2:30
can see it was
left
a
in
very
quarter
high
number
kick,
one.
perhaps off the toe,
The
a
East
little
Yeah.
lead 6 to
too
nothing.
much with the way it was spinning end over end. So with 2:30 to go, it is 6-0 on a gigantic Nakeem Williams run, close to 80 yards, I would
Yeah,
guess.
that was quite the run, and it was all set up in that fake in the backfield there. That was such a great fake, and that whole defense almost bit on that. And you could tell 10 yards into that run, you could see the entire sideline running with.
Yeah. We don't have official stats like are kept in a normal football game, but the person keeping the stats, Jesse Dunbar, has assured us at halftime he'll let us see what he's been able to compile. Let's send it down to Patrick, who has Eli Cupp from the Wyoming Cowboys.
Back to receive for the West.
Eli Cupp here
Killian
from
Sachs
Wyoming. So Eli,
and
tell me,
Jamal
how did this year
Kelly.
go for you last year at high school?
This year went really good. We went 15-0. Ended up winning state to end the season. So no better way to end the season than to win state.
That's awesome. One takeaway you'll have from playing in this game.
One takeaway from. It's great to get out here with all the people around Cincinnati, play with the best people in the city. So, yeah, it's fun.
So for younger players watching that are going to play football in high school, what advice do you have for them?
Just stick to it. Don't give up. It gets hard sometimes, but sticks through, and you'll get to play if you play your hardest.
Eli, what's the plan? What's the plan for next year? Big play behind us. What are you doing next year? What's the plan for next year?
Jamal Kelly
I'm going
returns
to
the ball
University of
for the
Cincinnati
West.
to study
He's
business.
brought
I'm not
down
playing
by
football
Garrett
though,
Moffitt.
but
It'll be 1st and 10 for the
That's
West.
good. Eli, thank you for doing this. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Eli Cupp from Wyoming.
Congratulations to Eli and his Wyoming teammates. A phenomenal season, as he said. 15-0, culminating with a state championship. And for those of us who have an interest in the University of Cincinnati football program, Evan Prater has committed to Luke Fickle and the Bearcats.
Great news for the Bearcats. And on that kickoff there, Glenn, I know we've said Mount Healthy Owls a few times tonight, but Jamal Kelly from Mount Healthy had a great return on that kickoff. We'll set them up in great position here.
When he changed direction, you heard the oohs and ahs
Yeah,
coming from the stands.
That was that big play Patrick was referencing.
That was almost like a football crossover, breaking somebody's ankles. There's a stiff arm for T.J. Jordan of Aiken.
T.J. Jordan runs the ball for the West.
Listed as a wide receiver, but Aiken's
He's brought down by
loaded with a
Nate
lot of
Stark.
talent. And Lee Johnson's going to find a way to get the ball in the hands of playmakers one way or the other.
It's
So
second
we're
and
under the
6.
2-minute mark now, as you see on your screen here in the opening quarter. Glenn Olson, Josh Simpson right with you from Kings High School. Patrick Geshen on the sideline. Dean Lowry and an A-team of camera operators roaming the sidelines here. Second and 5 from the 45. There's a run on the right side. Not a whole lot of room there. A lot of black jerseys there to bring down TJ Jordan from Aiken.
He's tackled by Nate Stark.
Nate Stuck credited with the tackle and brings out the cheers from the family and friends on hand here, Josh.
Yeah, TJ Jordan, Glenn, 6'1", 205. You saw it right there. He's definitely a downhill, shoulder forward back when he is in the backfield, listed as a wide receiver.
See how things progress throughout this game as the playbook gets opened up a little bit more. That's Damon Cherry in motion, and at quarterback for this series is number 6, Cleveland Farmer of Taft, the Taft Senators. A couple of good years in the books.
Cleveland Farmer's
Taft
pass
Senators.
falls incomplete.
That was Sierra Hall
pressured by
of Withrow
Sierra
that
Hall.
just got a tip of that ball.
So a loss of yardage is going to set up a 4th and 9 situation. West will punt the ball away, trailing 6-0.
Morris and Williams back to receive, and we got a block punt, Glenn.
Block punt recovered by the West. That was Andrew Redmeyer into punt.
Andrew Redemeyer's punt is blocked
Will Eads.
by Brian
Ross.
Donahue.
Yeah, Will Eads makes an impact in this game again.
Excuse me, no, I think that was
recovered by Mikhail
that was
Muhammad.
Brian Donahue
Yeah,
of Sycamore.
Yeah, another one of our communities. Well, you see a little bit of everything. Block punt. It's going to give very good field position here to the
It'll
East
be
squad.
1st and 10 for the East.
They'll break their huddle on the sideline over there with Scott Jordan. Let's send it down to a classmate of Patrick's for an interview. Go ahead, Patrick.
That's right, Andrew Markham from Talawanda. And Andrew, your first reaction when you heard you got to play in this game?
Oh, I was excited. I've been dreaming about playing this game ever since I first found out about it my freshman year. It's just great to get a chance to put on the pads again before college.
And does it feel weird to put the pads on again?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It's great, and it's just so weird, especially because I've only known these guys for a week. It's not playing with the brothers I've known for 5 years, but it's still great. All these guys are awesome, and they're just really good people.
What's your plan for next year? What's your major?
I will be majoring in criminal justice, and I'll be playing football for Mount St. Joseph University.
Josh
Like a
Taylor's
plan? How
pass
excited
is
are you for that?
incomplete.
Oh, I'm real excited.
It's
Some of these
intended
guys on
for
the team are
Andre
playing with
Allen
me,
Jr.
and they're just great guys. I've met some of the team already. It's just going to be awesome.
The pass
The
is
best thing
broken
about
up by
playing football in
Terrence
Talawanda is
McLean.
what?
Probably all the friends I made, all the lasting friendships and brothers that I've had. It's just amazing. All the guys I played with are great and awesome. I'm going to miss playing with them next year.
Andrew, thanks for doing this. Best of luck. Have fun tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Andrew Markham from Talawanda.
Thanks, Patrick. Josh Taylor had to scramble to his right, and the pass was incomplete. And a penalty
Holding is
flag
called against
came
the
in
East.
as Taylor was scrambling, and it's going to move the ball all the way back into East territory. It's going to be spotted at the 47-yard line.
It'll be 1st and about 25.
1st and 25, according to our scoreboard operator. It looks like 1st and Warren County from up here, Josh.
This is a long, long 25, Glenn.
Taylor under pressure. He's going to have to roll out to his left. One defender gets tripped up. He's going to scamper out of bounds.
Yep.
Taylor
Flag
runs the
comes
ball
in
for the
late,
East.
right at midfield.
Glenn, I think this is going to be a block in the black, almost blocking
He's pushed
straight
out of
into the
bounds
runner
by
there.
Tyler Hendricks. There's a
We'll
flag
get
on the
that
play.
cleared up with 26 seconds remaining here in the opening quarter.
Yep.
It will be against the East, so it's going to be a very big hole for the West
The East
team
is
to
called
try
for
to
an
get a
illegal block in the
decent
back.
change of position or field position out of this ultimately if they're not able to get anything going offensively.
It'll be 1st and 36.
38-yard line is where the ball is spotted. 1st and 36, something you don't hear very often. Two receivers to the top and bottom. Taylor back to pass, lets one go down the left sideline. Oh, nice push off and catch by Jermaine Wimpy of Princeton High School. Wimpy, as you Viking fans know, very capable of making big plays, and he showed you one right there.
Glenn, I'll tell you what, the last time you saw Wimpy make a catch like this, look at this, great, not push, but a little touch off there, turn around to get both hands on. The last time Princeton fans saw him make that grab was the historic last second of the season Hail Mary grab for the win at Princeton High School last fall.
Exciting for him. I'd like to duplicate that effort again tonight, but more importantly, as the horn sounds to close the first quarter, the East picks up a much-needed first down after a first and nearly 40-yard conversion they needed to make.
I tell you what, for those of you that don't know this story, Princeton last year was about to have a resurgence year, and then they got handed down some repercussions from a little bit of academic trouble there. But Jermaine Wimpy, on the last second of their season, to beat Lakota East on a crazy Hail Mary pass, that place erupted and was. I got home that night from the game we were doing in ICRC, and I saw that. I was so happy for that kid in that program to come out here and make his first catch since that grab in that kind of fashion, to pick up the first down on a 1st and 36. Great for him. Finished 3rd in receiving yards for the GMC, first team all GMC. Great for Jermaine Wimpy in the Princeton program.
Exciting stuff, and we're going to turn it over to Josh, at least the play-by-play part of it for the second quarter. But one thing I want to talk about while we have a few moments, the GMC has the possibility of being the Wild Wild West this year. First of all, don't sleep on that Princeton Vikings team, especially those kids who, fell victim to those academic irregularities and ineligibility issues that cost them the wins they had earned on the field last year. But some returning players, some transfers in. I think they're going to be very exciting. I think Tom Bolden leaving the Coleraine Cardinals and moving up to Lakota West is going to be interesting. Mason, seems to be in contention every year. Scott Datillo always seems to have his aviators ready.
Lakota East came here and upset Mason in the playoffs.
Right,
I mean, you got both the Lakotas coming on now. Mason always a contender. Colerane's going to, that Colerane's going to contend as they always do.
Right. Middletown's always loaded with athletes. They've had some down times here recently, but I believe this is year 2 of a new coaching staff for them.
And Sycamore. Sycamore played just about, they had a lot of unlucky outcomes last year at Sycamore, but they were in it just about every conference game. It really could be interesting in the GMC next year. That'll be fun.
Scott Datillo is very good at getting people in the right positions. A lot of times what we've seen reported in the local media, he'll change when the first game opens. You think one guy's going to be quarterback, and all of a sudden it's somebody else.
Yep.
So, yeah.
It looks like we'll have a false start here for East. That'll set them back.
Speaking of new coaching staffs, so our hometown Cincinnati Bengals in the professional ranks have a new coach in Zach Taylor. And one thing I'm very much looking forward to is the elimination of the obligatory first quarter false starts.
Yes. Yes, and he's touched on that. So we see a handoff up the middle here. Good for about 10 yards. We'll get them back to a manageable situation.
Josh
Anderson of New Richmond on that, and I believe we'll have about a 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6 coming.
Nice hole there, opened up on the left side.
It's 2nd and 6.
Really making the contact to bring him down was Michael Muhammad of Fairfield.
Yeah, to go back to Zach Taylor real quick, Glenn, I mean, one of the things he's been harping on very, very early so far is, mechanically everything's pretty sound for this early on, but mentally he's harping on the mental part of the game right now, and I love that from Zach Taylor. Big throw to the end zone here, and going to be too far, but we'll have a penalty here and a first down most likely coming for East.
Devarius Turner is protesting, but I think if you see the replay, you'll
Yeah.
understand that he should have saved his breath. He had hands draped all over him with a handful of jersey, it looked like, from up here.
Shandon Morris was the attempted receiver. Looks like he definitely had one hand to use there.
Yeah, see, there's a handful of jersey on both sides. And then watch him turn around. What?
What? Did I do that? All righty, we'll see if East will look to the end zone on this one.
Can't even get away with that on Madden.
No. Up the middle, and we'll wait for the signal.
There it is.
Touchdown. East squeaks it in on a run.
Nakeem Williams carries the ball.
Keem Williams, and I don't know if that was a direct snap or not. Yes, it
Yep,
was.
It was, and that's touchdown number 2 on the night from Nakeem Williams. So he's got one in each end zone now on his home turf.
Nakeem Williams of Kings, and now, yeah, that's right. He scored at each end now to give the East a 12-0 lead. We'll see if they can't convert the PAT here.
I'd like to joke and say it's Nakeem Williams 12, West nothing, but that was pretty much all the offensive line on that one.
Did on the direct snap and push forward. Now Anderson will try and convert this one. And look straight down the middle for Anderson. And a 13-0 lead for the East.
With 11:35 left in quarter 2.
You see the field level shot of Williams on that direct snap. Found a hole over on the left side and was about to get tripped up and able to get the ball across the plane before anything went down. Tremendous run by Williams and tremendous blocking by the offensive line, especially on the left side.
Just barely got it across, too. And that's great for him to be playing this all-star game on your home turf and scoring the first 2 touchdowns of the game. That's got to feel good for that senior.
Absolutely. Just a tremendous, tremendous running back. He's headed to Marlin University to major in business. He's a first-team All-ECC honoree this past season for Andy Olds.
I know you and I were reminiscing about that Kings-Milford game. Where
Yeah.
We saw both running backs in that game tear it up.
Andy Olds, of course, retiring, stepping away from the game. So
Cam Anderson to kick off.
just said it was time. Can't blame him. A tremendous coaching career, and he's going to be honored here 2 different ways at halftime, if I read the program correctly. He's going to be made an honorary Southwest Ohio Football Coaches Association member. And he's also going to receive the Steve Clowney Coach of the Year award.
See, East will kick off in a decent return here.
Jamal Kelly returns the
Jamal
kick
Kelly
for
of
the
Mount
West.
Healthy. Take it about to the 28-yard line.
Kelly just
He's brought down by
this
Nathan
time that
Webster.
hop by about a microsecond.
It'll
Might have been able to
1st and
hop
10
over that
for
and
the
keep his
West.
footing. Credit to these players and coaches. I believe they get 10 practices or so to try to get a team together and getting everyone to show up for practice and get on the same page in the busy summer months with graduation and final exams and all those things going on. Quite the accomplishment.
So Anthony Carmichael is going to come out as quarterback for the West.
Chris Payne runs the ball for the West.
Chris
He's brought
Payne
down
is
by
a
Ryan
St.
Kernan.
Xavier product. He had a big sort of an emphatic introduction here, so I'm not sure if he calls this area the city
It'll
home or
be
not,
2nd
Josh.
and 9.
But, had a PA announcer had a little extra bounce in his introduction for him and received a good round of applause.
And excuse me, this is Cleveland Farmer from Taft out leading the West at quarterback right now as we sit at 2nd and 9. Hand off to Mincy. Mincy's going to bounce it out to the left. Get a few on that.
Ty Mincy runs the ball
Yeah, I
for the
apologize.
West.
These white and black jerseys are a thing to get used to
He's
when you've been
tackled by Natron
covering this
Webster
game
for
for
the
years.
East.
We're used to the red and blues.
And complicating things, our roster has West shaded, so you see
Yeah.
the black and think
It's 3rd and
that's
8.
that's the shaded side of the roster. I'm sure the players like the black and white. Definitely brings some pop to the uniforms.
Yeah, it just makes those colorful helmets that you see all over from the various schools and all the different stickers they have on the helmets really stand out. So we'll have a 3rd and 8 here.
And a big thank you to whoever designed the large numbers
Big
with
throw
a
from Farmer's going to go a little too far.
bold outline.
Yeah, loving those
Cleveland
big bold
Farmers
numbers.
pass falls incomplete.
Our sideline reporter, Patrick Geshin, is lined up
Intended for
Tariq
Hajir
Williams of Hughes High School.
Brian Donahue
I
on
think
the
we'll hear
coverage
from
for the
Patrick in
East.
just a second as we have leading the East offense now, and he hopped on that one
It'll be
immediately.
2nd and 19.
Carmichael working with his head coach from Waynesville High School, Scott Jordan, on the sideline. He'll send a man in motion. And a rough handoff there to his back. And Andre Allen Jr. from Walnut
Devon
Hills.
Bryant carries the ball for the East.
And not sure if that was by design or just some miscommunication as to
He's
which
tackled
side,
by
but
Eli
regardless,
Cup for the West.
took a little bit too much time to develop, and the West defense was there to capitalize. Look at that, just a wrap as soon as he picked up the ball by number 53, Eli Cup
No
of
gain on the
Wyoming,
play.
who Patrick interviewed just a few moments ago back in the first quarter.
It'll be
So they
3rd and
were
19.
on the west side of the field. Now they're in their own end on the 41 after that play with the big 3rd and 19 here. Just under 9 minutes to play here in the first half. Carmichael fakes the handoff. Rush coming. He'll dump it off. Left side, and maybe getting a yard there is Devon Bryant
Anthony
from Deer
Carmichael's
Park.
pass is complete.
But nevertheless, that'll bring up
To
a
Devon
4th
Bryant.
down for East, and a great stop there, Glenn, for West.
I think that was Marlon
The
Gaines
tackle's
from
made
St.
by
Bernard
Alan
there to make the
Caldwell
stop.
for the West.
Corrected, it's Caldwell. So another deep hole for this East team, but this time 4th down. Punt formation, obviously.
Jerry Pitts will be back
to
to receive the punt. Nice little punt that's going to get a great bounce and go out about the 20-19 yard line there from Josh Taylor.
Definitely not a high punt, but a line drive, and it did the job. That's going to be a good change of field position.
Like I said earlier, Glenn, I mean, they keep starting these drives for West down deep in their own territory. I mean, this isn't too deep, but still, I mean, we saw them get into the hole they did in last year's All-Star game because they kept having to fight possession.
The punt goes out of bounds at the 23-yard line. It'll be
Plenty of
1st and
football
10
left
for
to
the
be
West.
played, but it's getting to the point where they need to sustain a drive and come away with some points just for their confidence there. They know the stigma of losing 4 in a row for the west side of town, and they want to be the ones to break through, as we discussed earlier.
West looking for their 2nd win in 12 years, and a handoff here out to the right side. It was Kalos Ferrier from
carries the
Campbell
ball for the
Montessori
West.
that took the handoff for a
He's
couple
tackled
yards
by
there.
Josh Anderson for the East.
2 running back look that time offensively for the West.
It'll be
One to
2nd
either
and
side
7.
of the quarterback. East All-Stars have been mainly staying with one back in the backfield with the quarterback.
2nd and 7 here for the West. Farmer takes the snap. He's looking to throw. He's going to have to scramble here and get rid of the ball, and nearly picked off there.
Desperation, the blitz was coming from both sides. He had no room with which to work. Had to get rid of that ball and take a big sack.
Very quick pressure there from the West defense, and now we will have a very important 3rd and 7 from the 26-yard line for the West. West All-Stars really need a 1st down here to continue their momentum.
East is going to stay 4 defensive backs, not bringing in a nickel.
And I think we're going to have a timeout here from West. Definitely want to talk things over. Does head coach Lee Johnson.
Well, probably a smart use of the timeout. You know, an opportunity here. It's definitely a third and manageable down and distance situation.
If you are interested in broadcasting or if you just need community service hours, ICRC-TV is a great place to do that. You can come out and help at events like this, run a camera, be in the truck, learn things about the behind the scenes of sports broadcasting, and ICRC-TV, a great place to learn, serve your community, or just come out, hang out, have fun. Tomorrow we're doing a summer concert series is getting underway around the tri-state area. We cover a lot of those, and those are always a good time. And then, of course, football right around the corner. Sooner than you know it, it'll be fall.
Football and soccer season are upon us.
So if you want to come and help us out, ICRCTV.com/productions, or you can contact our executive producer, Jason Dudley, at jason@ICRCTV.com.
Did want to get the rest of our officials introduced. We talked about Mike Harbison earlier in the game. Umpire Walt Harbison, head linesman Dave Caniglio, line judge Don Williams, and back judge Clint Coleman.
So we'll see a 3rd and 7 here for West. And we'll have a quarterback interview coming up with Patrick here as Carmichael is thrown. And we'll throw it on down to Patrick.
That's right, Cleveland Farmer, the quarterback at Taft in Cleveland. Tell me one good thing that you had, one good experience about your senior year of high school football.
Just playing with my brothers this whole year. Just been all around good experience. Having fun. Being as a family, we didn't went to dinners. I didn't pay for the O-line to eat because they my bread and butter. I need them to be great. So just being with my family, my boys. That's just all around good experience for me.
What's your favorite thing about playing in this game tonight?
Just the people, the vibe of the people, and how they just feel for everybody. It ain't no they want one side to win, they want this side to win. Everybody here to have fun. We just all out here. We all good, so we out here for a reason.
All right, Cleveland, thanks so much. Best of luck in the future. Have fun tonight.
Thank you.
And coming out of, blocked punt, and that's going to be a blocked punt. Return quickly for a touchdown. That's Brian Donahue, who had the blocked punt earlier today. And Brian Donahue, the Sycamore Ave, is flying in the sky tonight at the All-Star game. Watch here as he penetrates easily and gets those hands up. Looks for the ball, and he'll bring that down and only have a 5-yard run into the end zone. Folks, he's got 2 blocked punts on the night and a score there on special teams. And that is huge score there for the East, as they are now up 19-0 over the West All-Stars.
Talk about a momentum shifter, and that has the potential to be a huge one in this game, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about special teams and how you can see some trickeration, or any big play on special teams really is the point after. It's low, but goes through, and that'll be a 20-0 lead.
Anderson with 5:58 left in the second quarter.
Wow.
The East leads 20-0.
Not good for the West mindset, the West morale, Josh. Because I thought they really needed to sustain a drive and get some points there. Just can't seem to find anything that's clicking offensively.
No, and it's funny, Glenn, and maybe the West has more guys that get recruited early and have committed and opt out of playing this game, but the last 12 years, East is 11-1. The West All-Stars have won 1 game in the past 12 years, and that was in 2014 in a mighty high-scoring game. West won 63-43. We see the big crowd here at Kings Stadium, Kings Mills, Ohio.
Yeah, this is one of the bigger crowds I recall seeing at this game. Normally the home stands are about half full, and the far side of the field with the visitor stands are really not well filled in. That's definitely not the case tonight. So these players have gotten the word out. Their friends and family and coaches have come out to support them. So did walk into the stadium with Tom Grippa, the head coach of the Milford Eagles. Today, he was telling a story. He coached this game way back in 1990.
Whew.
And he was still coaching on the other side of town.
1990, West won 24-20, and that would have been with Elder? He was still with
I believe
the
so,
time?
yeah. So, but he's got one of his coaches here, of course, Greg Pickett, and also player number 74, Jackson Roycer, is an offensive lineman for the Eagles, as well as Nate Flannery, another offensive lineman. So here supporting his coaching staff and his players.
Deep kickoff there that almost landed on the track.
It'll be first and 10
out to
for
the
West.
20-yard line to start for West. But Glenn, it's one thing, you know, to only have the one win, but in the past 4 years, we go back to last year, West scored 19 points. 2017, they scored only one touchdown. 2016, they only scored 12 points. So in those 12 years where they only had the one game, they've been outscored 378 to 276. That's a 102 plus point differential for East. So I don't know if you have any insight into the trouble of just scoring the football.
I really wish I did. Like I said, it's a different coaching staff every year. It's obviously different players, as these are seniors. So there's really no rhyme nor reason as to why that is. I think you may be onto something, you know, in terms of some of your bellwether programs on the west side of town, like your Elders, your St. X's, your Colerains, of course. Not a lot of players from those programs on the West roster here tonight. You know, certainly some D1 schools, to be sure, but a lot of smaller division schools here as well. I think you would be hard-pressed to find the skill possession players from a lot of those bigger schools, even though we have Deontay Smith-Moore of Colerain here on the roster at quarterback tonight. So maybe that has something to do with it. I'm not sure.
So Hall of Withrow thought he had a fumble recovery there. Nonetheless, they're going to say it was down, and a 2nd and 11, and big throw here down the sideline is going to be just too far out of bounds. Looking for Davian Williams.
It's going to be what the doctor ordered if he was able to haul that one in. Actually, I believe
Jason Griffin on the coverage.
Isaiah Lovelace of Northwest.
It's 3rd and 11.
So Damon Cherry, the quarterback out of Northwest, is leading the West offense now, and he's got a big 3rd and 11 to work with here.
Northwest Knights. Almost ended up in Northwest tonight. Parents moved to Forest Park when I was young, but where we were living, I would have gone to Northwest.
Cherry takes it and looking, and he's going to try and get it with his feet, and he does, and he'll get a little more. Cherry with the carry and a 1st down out of Northwest. And the West All-Stars needed that big run from Damon Cherry there.
I like the rhyming and the alliteration, but I especially like the effort by Cherry there. I think that's the big play this West All-Star needed to restore some confidence. And you're going to see here, watch when he hits this contact, makes that first contact, spins off of it, kept his balance, kept his feet, and dug his way forward for about 2 more yards. So tremendous effort by that young man trying to get his team back in this game, Josh.
I was talking to him before the game, Glenn, and he said, hey, are you calling the game tonight? I said, yeah. He's like, I'm going to run for a 1st down out of nowhere tonight, and you're going to say, Cherry with the carry, and that's what they say all season long. And
I love it. That was a tremendous carry. Big 1st down to keep his squad alive. West is going to burn another timeout, it looks like.
So West only have one more timeout the half. East hasn't burned any of theirs. And it's important, I think, right here that Johnson uses whatever time he needs to make sure that they use the momentum that they just got off of that big run there and carry that down the field and get on the board here. Because, Glenn, we got 4.5 minutes to play here. You got to get some points on the board before halftime.
Yeah, I don't think it's desperation time, but to keep your team mentally in this game, I think you've got to reach deep into the playbook and, you know, for the coaches, and reach deep down for the intestinal fortitude for the players and figure out a way to stay on the field and get some points here. You don't want to turn the ball over needlessly with a risky play, but I think it's time to get creative. Put the ball in the hands of your playmakers and let them do what they do. The big guys up front do the blocking. Let the skill guys do the, the cuts and dives and spin moves and all that thing they need to do. But I agree with you. West needs to come away with some points here.
They'll have the ball on the 38-yard line for a 1st and 10, and Patrick's got another interview down on the sideline with Timian Dixon of Woodward.
Timian Dixon of Woodward. Timian, tell me where you're going to college next year and why.
I'm going to Hocking College to finish my career in. I'm trying to see something better in a different environment.
Can you believe that your high school football career is ending tonight?
I really can't, but it's amazing, but it's kind of shocking at the same time because I got to see something different that I never experienced yet, but I would like to see that.
The best part for you about playing at Woodward?
The best part of playing at Woodward is we all have fun, win or lose. It's about playing hard and just keeping your mind in the game. If you got a problem, just keep it low. Just keep it low.
And Timian, anybody you want to say hi to before I let you go?
I just want to thank y'all for interviewing me. I want to thank the world, whoever looking at it, and thank you.
Timian, thank you. Appreciate it. Have fun tonight.
You too.
Timian Dixon, quite a personality, guys, out of Woodward.
Oh, that indeed, Patrick. And the world thanks you, Timian, for keeping it real down there on the sideline for us.
Talk about a guy who is excited to be here, and
that's right.
He may want to keep broadcasting in the back of his mind. He was looking straight at the camera during that interview. He knows where the lens is.
Great presence down there on the sideline from Timian Dixon.
On the carry for the West.
It'd be fun sometime to get a couple of, injured players that maybe can't play in the game, or some of the game guys who have starred in this game in the past, and get them here in the booth.
Oh yeah, that'd be
to tell some stories. I think it would be a lot of fun.
So after a few little runs there from the West offense, they're looking at a 2nd and 8 from the 49-yard line, and they're into East territory. Cherry in the shotgun. He'll step back and look for a throw just behind his receiver there in Natron Webster of Loveland is who he was looking for.
I don't want to pump him up too much, but that pass had a little bit of a Favre-esque look to it, the way he stepped into that and fired that dart. That was one of those finger breaks.
Brian Donahue on the coverage for the East.
Not throwing it behind him.
I used to say Favre threw too hard, and that one definitely had some zip on it.
Yeah, lots of broken finger stories you hear about Brett Favre over the years. His receivers would rather have him throw it hard than not.
West is looking to the sideline for their play. 3rd and 8 here. Cherry and Mincy in the backfield. Cherry takes it, and he's going to check down and not get the first down by about 3 yards there. A really big stop from Kevon Sanks of Josh Anderson of New Richmond.
He's tackled by Josh Anderson.
He found some room underneath, but it looked like he might have had Davion Williams of Hamilton streaking down the right sideline, and looked like Williams had gotten away from the coverage.
Hajiri Pitts with the reception there, and now, Glenn, we've got a 4th and 4. And they're in West territory on the 45-yard line. 1 timeout, under 2 minutes to play. And you'll see they're keeping the offense out there again.
Well, they're going to burn their final timeout. I hope they're not burning a timeout to take a punt. I guess you would just take the delay of game if you were going to punt it. But looked like Farmer had seen something on the defense he was happy with. When the timeout came in, he wasn't extremely pleased, I guess is the fair thing to say. But I agree. You stay out here. You've got to trust your defense to hold the East for 2 minutes. If Keeman Williams on the field, you especially keep an eye on him. Maybe put a spy on him, Josh. But I agree. We just to beat the dead horse, I think West needs to come away with points, the best case scenario, but at least sustain a drive, keep the ball out of the East's hands in a worst case scenario.
Yeah, right. You got 1:47 to play. You got no timeouts left anymore. I'd say just focus on getting this first down right here. They got Cherry's legs at quarterback, and they've got Ty Mincy at running back with him right there. They could 5 yards they need right now. The option is always available, and we've seen that the East defense has had some trouble picking that option up tonight, and they've even marked it down now to 4th down and 4 yards to go.
I'll tell you one thing, we need to track down game director Ross Baker and figure out how we can get our hands on these coaches' quarter zips. Have you seen those? When
Oh,
we've
I
had
know.
the
Those are very
sideline
nice.
shots?
They got that nice SWOFCA logo on it.
Yeah.
I got to get me one of those.
They look, I always try to stay neutral in the broadcast booth.
Right.
So, black and white doesn't get too much more neutral than that, especially for most of our communities, no black and white colors.
Cherry's going to keep it. He's looking outside, looking to dance around. He's going to have to dive down, and he will
flag.
not get the first down, but yeah, flag came in there afterwards.
That's usually going to be an offensive call, but if you're a fan of the West, you could hope it's going to go the other way and keep your drive alive. It's a face mask, and it's against the East, so the drive will stay alive, and that should be a fresh set of downs, Josh.
That's indeed, and that's a huge face mask there that will work very nicely. You see Cherry's going to break it outside here.
Yeah, right there. You pulled him to the ground, the top of your screen. If you can, Dean, rewind that back just a touch. I don't know if you have the ability to do it quickly, but if you look if we get the same shot, look in the top right corner of your screen, and you're going to see someone get pulled to the ground by their face mask.
It'll be 1st and 10.
Right there.
Right, yep.
Yeah, more the middle of your screen, but yep. That's a handful of a yellow face mask.
So they were looking at a 4th down near midfield. Now after the face mask penalty, they are on their own 29-yard line. Cherry takes it and dumps it off quick. Immediately brought down is Michael Crawford.
I like the quick strike, but you've got to get a little more vertical than that. Now you've got the clock issue, 70 seconds and counting down. Still got 30 yards you need to pick up to find the end zone. You've got to go vertical. The offensive linemen need to hold their blocks here.
3 up top, 1 to the bottom. Cherry takes the snap. Looking to the bottom, and it is almost picked off, and we might have an offensive pass interference coming here as we have a flag down. We'll see how they want to call this one.
It's intended for Jamal Kelly.
Yeah, Caleb Street of Walnut Hills was the player in the black East jersey
The play
there.
is broken up by Caleb
Looked like he was
Street.
definitely interfered with. No, he says. Yep, and there you see it.
Pass interference against the East.
Yep, the East offensive player had to turn into a defender there. But they'll take that drive. They'll take that penalty to keep the drive alive. 51 seconds.
They'll take that indeed. I wasn't sure if they were going to call it that way because he definitely was a bit on top of him there. But 2 big penalties go in favor of the West here. And it's 1st and 10 from the 15, 50 seconds left. Cherry is not going to be able to scramble out of this one, and a huge sack for East, courtesy of Ciari.
I don't like that play call for this reason. If it's not successful, then you're costing yourself time. You're essentially costing yourself another play. It's going to take you 10 seconds to get set and get another snap off.
Under 30 seconds now. Cherry takes it and dumps it off again and won't be able to get out of bounds, and struggling for more yardage is Michael Crawford, and now we're under 20 seconds left to play. West is really going to have to move here.
Yeah, they're going to be lucky to get
no time out.
2 plays off.
And fake spike here, and they're, oh boy, caught. It was caught and couldn't get out of bounds, and that's quite the play call there.
Well, again, not to be overly critical, it's an all-star game, but that's why I don't like that quarterback run. If you throw a pass there, chances are you get 1 more play off.
Right, and that 1 more play was a dump off to the outside, and couldn't get out of bounds. There was Isaiah Lovelace, and now they'll go into the locker room, the West All-Stars, with no points on the board. 20-0 is your score at halftime here at the Ron Woyan S.W.O.F.C.A All-Star Game. Your East All-Stars lead your West All-Stars. And we're going to be looking for our first coach interview here in a little bit as we sit at Kings High School as the sun starts to set over Kings Island. And we'll throw it down to Patrick with head coach interview.
Coach Lee Johnson from Northwest. Coach, when you heard you were going to coach this game, what was your first reaction?
I mean, I was pleased. I volunteered. They nominate kids, so I volunteered and got voted. So it was an honor to be voted on by my peers in the Southwest SWOFCA conference. Just love being around kids, football. So it's a good opportunity this summer to, work on some things here I want to see on the field, and also work with some guys around the league we've been playing against.
Talking about this game, you're down 20 at the half. What's got to change for you guys?
We just got to settle down, man. We got to settle down, finish drives. We get a job moving the ball. I think we're good on first early downs. We get behind the sticks, and then we got to press a little bit, and that kind of puts us in a bad situation when they know we're passing and they're rushing, and they can loosen up in the secondary.
Coach, thanks for your time. Best of luck in the second.
All right, thank you.
Coach Lee Johnson from Northwest, the West All-Stars trying to get back on track, down by 20 at the half. Glenn.
Patrick, sorry, Josh, I'll talk to you in a second. But excellent questions, because I was curious how that process worked with the coaches. And as you heard Coach Johnson say, they get nominated, and then the Coaches Association votes on it.
So 20-0 is the score. The East All-Stars lead. We'll be back in a few from Kings Mills, Ohio at the Ron Woyan S.W.O.F.C.A All-Star football game. And we welcome you back into the Ron Woyan S.W.O.F.C.A All-Star Football Game from Kings Mills, Ohio. We're at Kings Stadium. Josh Semstrat with you now, and alongside me is Glenn Olson, and we've got a 20-0 lead for the East All-Stars, and that's due in part to Nakeeman Williams, his 2 rushing touchdowns, and then one blocked punt, one of the 2 blocked punts that Brian Donaghy had, and he returned the second one for a touchdown. That gives them a 20-0 lead at half. Glenn, I think you've got some stats for us tonight.
Yeah, nothing earth-shattering here, but first for the East All-Stars on the passing front, Josh Taylor of Western Brown is 2 of 3 for 77 yards. Those passes were completed to Andre Allen Jr. of Walnut Hills, 1 for 35 yards. And, of course, Jermaine Wimpy of Princeton, the outstanding catch that we saw, 1 for 42. Nakeeman Williams on the rushing side, everything belongs to him. 2 rushes, 83 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 in each end zone, as we talked about. For the West, not a whole lot of highlights there to talk about. They've used 3 different quarterbacks, Michael Crawford, Cleveland Farmer, and Damon Cherry. Crawford and Farmer each completed 1. Cherry is 3 for 6, but none of them in double digits. Rushing leader for the West All-Stars, number 28, Ty Mincy, of course, 6 for 32, most of those coming in early in the game. Defensively for the East, Josh Anderson of New Richmond, 5 total tackles. Brian Donaghy, who we talked about, the punt block touchdown return. And Sierra Hall of Withrow, 6 total tackles. For the West, again, not a lot of highlights, but Mekiel Muhammad of Fairfield, 4 total tackles. And Eli Cup of the Wyoming Cowboys, state champion Wyoming Cowboys, 3 total tackles. So you're caught up stats-wise.
And Nakeeman Williams came in to the locker room to a huge roaring standing ovation from his home crowd here at Kings High School.
Very well he should, and there's a big hole up the middle for the East All-Stars. They've got past the second level. Nobody to beat but the official down the left sideline. 10-5, touchdown on the kick return. Number 14, Andre Allen Jr. takes it to the house.
Touchdown.
Wow. Yeah, that's all you can say is wow.
Wow.
He busted through that second level around midfield, and then again, it was a foot race between him and the official who was going to cross into the end zone first.
You know, Glenn, Smash Mouth said it best. Hey, now, you're an all-star. And I tell you what, if you want to be an all-star, you come out in your all-star game and you return the opening second half kickoff for a touchdown. At a kid.
And Dean Lowry timed that replay perfectly. You saw him break free of the white defenders in the shot right around midfield and waltzed into the end zone. Extra point attempt is on the way. The snap is down. The kick is up, and it is good for number 23, Cam Anderson of Waynesville. 27-0, a 12-second scoring drive on a kickoff return for the East All-Stars.
Andre Allen Jr., what do you say? Walnut Hills product. What do you say? Walnut Hills High School, east side of Cincinnati. What do you say? 27-0. Wow.
And if you're the West All-Stars, how deflating. I'm sure you had a great halftime, make some adjustments. You're going to come out here and prove that you belong to play in this game and can play with these East All-Stars. And Andre Allen Jr. puts it into perspective for you. Saints and Kelly back deep to receive for the West All-Stars, who have not yet taken the special teams field. These West All-Stars are eager and ready to get the football back in their hands to try to answer that kick return. I was still going through stats, Josh. Do you know about where that was fielded at?
I was trying to look at where that was fielded at, and I don't know if we can maybe get that from the truck. But, I mean, that was definitely I'd be comfortable saying at least an 80-yard return there.
Yeah, I would believe that. I would absolutely believe that, if not more. Go to our longest kickoff return previously was 80 yards by Dominic Williams in 2013, according to the media guide provided by the game organizers. So it will be close to that, if not exceeding it, I would think. That one, thought that might have touched the end zone. Referees say no, they'll bring it out. Tried to cut back, and he's going to be tackled at the 15-yard line. That's number 11, Jamal Kelly of the Mount Healthy
Jamal
Owls
Kelly
for
returns the
West.
kick for the West. He's brought
Kelly
down
couldn't
by
quite turn it
Marion
outside
Pitchett.
to make more of that.
It'll be first
Unfortunately,
and 10 for the West.
Another short field to work with for the West. And Glenn, I'm going to finally hand it over the play-by-play duties to you now. I know we had a pretty quick second half opener there with the kickoff.
Sort of didn't let you transition on the kick return. I just jumped right in.
I quite honestly wasn't expecting that explosive of a opening to our second half here.
Yeah, really not in an all-star game do you expect a kick return right off the bat coming out of halftime. Teams should be at their sharpest coming out of the locker room, right? Definitely not the case so far. And the West missed a nearly wide open receiver
Cleveland
streaking
Farmers
down the right
pass is
sideline,
complete to
trending
Hajir
over
Pitts.
toward the middle of the field in Jamal Kelly. So back
Ryan
in
Kerman
at quarterback
and Anthony
Cleveland
Molinari on the
Farmers
tackle for
from
the
the
East.
Taft Senators.
It'll be second
Potentially
and
had a
one.
receiver open, but it'll set up second and 1. Handoff. Nothing doing. Tremendous penetration by the East
Ty
defensive
Mincy
line.
carries the ball for the West.
So the West, again,
Tackle
struggling
was
to
made by
find
Gabe Kilgore.
anything resembling consistency offensively. That's been the story of this game and honestly, the previous 4 years here, despite different players and coaching staffs. The West just cannot stay on the field and
The
convert
West is
the
called
points,
for an
Josh.
illegal shift.
So now have 2 receivers to the bottom
It's
of the
second and
formation.
6.
One to the top, one in the slot. Ty Mincy in the backfield with Farmer for the West All-Stars. 2nd and 6 after a loss of 5. Farmer, protection starts to break down. He tries to scramble out of it, and he's going to be brought
Cleveland
down for yet
Farmer is sacked
another
on the
loss.
play.
Yeah, they came off that right
He's
side
brought down
there
by
on your
Sierra
screen. And
Hall.
you see their number 41 for East, Joe Wall from West
The play
Claremont.
loses 6 yards. It'll be 3rd and 12.
What a start to a program for the West Claremont Wolves. Nick Ayers, formerly head coach at Glen Estee, takes over for West Claremont and just off and running. Saw former Glen Estee standout Peyton Burdick was taken in the Major League Draft the other day.
That's right,
by
yeah.
way of Wright State.
Yeah, that program really is. I mean, when you look at not just a success story, but a template on how to start your program. Great start over there for the West Claremont Wolves last year.
Punt's going to struggle to make it out of the West into the field. It barely does. It's fielded at the 49-yard line. A flag's going to come in late and probably going to have a double
Shandon
foul
Morris
there.
returns the punt
Tempers
for
are
the
going to
East.
start the flares. Shandon Morris was brought down late
He's
out of
brought
bounds
down
by Chris Payne
for the West.
of St. Xavier. Excessively late, but there was already a flag thrown, if you want my opinion. You may not.
Glenn, once we get these penalties in here, I do have a number for us on that kick.
Outstanding. Jesse Dunbar is on it over there with the old school stats being kept in a spiral notebook.
The
He
call is
vouched for
holding on the West.
100% of the veracity of the offensive stats I gave you at the top of the half, and I believe it.
Definitely going to move back a ways here.
Yeah, the flag came in late on East before the player with the ball was tackled out of bounds, perhaps late.
So as you said, Glenn, in 2013, Dominic Williams of Northwest set the record for longest kickoff return for a touchdown with 80 yards back in 2013. At least that is what the media guide has provided to us.
Dump off to Nakeeman Williams. Stay alive, fight for an extra couple of yards.
Anthony Carmichael's pass is complete to Nakeeman
Anthony
Williams.
Carmichael in at quarterback.
Andre Allen Jr., his kickoff return for a touchdown that we saw to open this half, officially as the stats here, 91 yards.
Wow.
91-yard kickoff return. Based off the media guide provided by us by the SWOFCA staff, that is the longest kickoff return for a touchdown ever in the Ron Woyan S.W.O.F.C.A All-Star game.
Amazing.
Andre Allen Jr. of Walnut Hills with that return to open our half.
Ball's kept in the middle of the field by the quarterback. Looks for some room on his right. He's going to be dropped for a loss of about 4 yards.
We got a penalty flag in the backfield as well, Glenn.
He's brought down by Jalen Engelman for the West.
Engelman with the stop for the West.
Looking like another offensive holding penalty that's going to bring the East back. Not happy was Coach Jordan there on the sideline.
Understandably.
When you put together the last 30 seconds of that first half and then this drive here, a lot of penalties starting to stack up for the East All-Stars.
Yes, and I don't care if it is an all-star game, that'll drive coaches crazy. Right?
That's a mental discipline thing.
Well, and, we talked about, a lot of these players, many of them will not play college football. Some of them are playing in this game hoping maybe that they find themselves in a situation. As Carmichael scrambles for his life, he dumps a desperation pass off, complete to Nakeeman Williams, draws a big crowd. Flag's going to come in late. Looked like he stepped out of bounds, but he will take it to the house.
Glenn, if this stands, then what a great story. I mean, it looks like this is going to come back, but man, these home crowd here at Kings High School is loving seeing this Kings product out in his all-star game in the home field.
But 67 yards, but likely coming back to a hold, or due to a hold. There you see Nakeeman Williams hauls the pass in. Unfortunately having some technical issues up here, so couldn't exactly see what happened with the penalty flag. But even if it doesn't stand, just a tremendous effort by Nakeeman Williams. And Carmichael was scrambling for his life and was just sort of a desperation pass. Williams goes up and gets it. But as I was saying, a lot of these players hoping maybe to catch on, they find a program where maybe they had an unfortunate injury, or maybe someone decommits, or maybe some of these players here thought they had a scholarship locked up and found themselves in an over-recruiting type of situation. Just a lot of things that can happen. But many of these guys here playing for the love of the game. They're trying to give it their all out here tonight. Certainly like to see the West All-Stars make this one competitive. Let these West All-Stars, leave a little bit of legacy of the team that kept it close when it matters late in the game. So an explanation being given to the East coach, Scott Jordan of course, Waynesville High School, trying to keep his players and coaches back. And there's that quarter zip we were talking about. You see with the coaches there.
I need to get me one of those, man.
So Ross Baker, 3XLT. We love doing your game. I'd love to have one of those quarter zips, selfishly. All right, so play is brought back. Ball will be snapped from around the 38-yard line. Score stands at 27-0. 8:11 remaining in the third quarter. No timeouts taken by either team as of yet. This penalty took about 10 minutes to sort out. Carmichael back to pass, steps up away from the pressure, lets it fly, has a receiver in the middle of the field. Couldn't quite hit the mark on the pass.
Carmichael's passes.
Yeah, great protection there from his offensive line, too. They were really fighting over there on that right side of the line to give him that extra time.
Intended receivers Will Eads of the Summit Country Days Silver Knights.
For the West.
Just a little off the mark there over the right shoulder.
Glenn, Anthony Carmichael playing his all-star game with his head coach his senior year. 1,601 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions, and a couple hundred yards rushing, 5 rushing touchdowns. Second team All-Southern Buckeye League. And a really, really cool story. We'll see if we can't squeeze in here on him in a second.
Impressive senior year. Carmichael steps into that one, lets it fly, has a man in the middle. He's got to come back for it, and it's broken up, but a flag comes in late. Trying to come back for that pass was Shandon Morris of the Middletown Middies. Defensively broken up by Alan Caldwell, the Fairfield Indians.
Pass falls incomplete.
See what the flag
It's
is all
intended
about.
for Jermaine Wimpy.
I was trying to get to Wimpy, excuse me.
Alan Caldwell on the coverage.
A little tug there.
There are flags on the play.
Had that ball been not thrown short, then I don't think you get that call there. But
Yeah.
since he was coming back for the ball, that tiny little tug there at the end.
Yep, I agree. Impeded his progress. Could say could have gotten back to it if he hadn't have been grabbed and pulled, right? So
Yeah,
good
probably.
call. Maybe ticky-tacky for an all-star game, but hey, couldn't get to the ball. I don't think you call that in the playoffs, maybe.
Probably not. I don't think
But
so.
The call is pass
all-star game?
interference
Sure.
against the West. That 15-yard penalty will result in a first
So
down.
a
for the
15-yard
East.
penalty, fresh set of downs for the East All-Stars. Commanding lead. Ball now into the west half of the field. Carmichael still at quarterback. Raises his foot, set his man into motion, fakes the handoff for the jet screen, but ends up handing the ball off, or jet sweep, excuse me, to Adam Slusher.
Slusher just lost his footing there. I think if he had a nice spin move out of there, and unfortunately couldn't keep his footing as he came out of it. Real quick, Glenn, great story I came across on Anthony Carmichael.
He's brought down
First
by
off,
Chris
all
Payne
around
for the
regarded
West.
all around great kid out in Waynesville High School. 7-year-old cousin had brain cancer since she was 2. They crowned her as the homecoming queen last fall, and he walked her out there and supported her the whole way and crowned her that homecoming queen at Waynesville High School as he loses the ball there.
Bad snap,
Anthony Carmichael
and he just
recovers
couldn't
the
come up
fumble.
with it.
Just a great
And is
story
brought
from
down by
Carmichael there, but I think he
Deion
got
Campbell in the backfield.
Patrick down on the sidelines with someone.
Nakeeman Williams is who he has. Barely hear him. I thought he had Nakeeman Williams.
It's 3rd and 24.
So bad snap there. Carmichael couldn't come up with it. Could not get out of the way of the onslaught of defenders. So it's been a back and forth affair for the East All-Stars here between the 30s. It's 27-0, but a 3rd and 24. Carmichael back to pass. Has to dump it off under pressure and a little too high for his intended receiver.
Anthony Carmichael's
Number
pass is
34.
incomplete. It's intended
Davon
for
Bryant.
Davon Bryant.
Deer Park.
Just real
It'll
quick
be
to wrap up my
4th and
story on
24.
Carmichael. She had little cousin Reagan had brain cancer from 2 years old to 7 years old. They crowned her the homecoming queen. He walks her out there, and
Josh Taylor is
2
in
months
punt
later,
formation
she
for
was
the East.
miraculously released from Children's. A great story for Anthony Carmichael there, and a great story for his little cousin Reagan. We pray that that family is continuing to do well out in Waynesville.
Yeah, absolutely. A tremendous gesture by that young man, but even more a tremendous recovery by his cousin. Thankful, of course, to the medical team that cared for her. Perhaps some divine intervention as well. Those of you familiar with the story that gripped this region here several years ago, the basketball player from Lawrenceburg who went on to Mount St. Joe. Her name escapes me, unfortunately, at the moment. Lauren, but regardless.
Yeah, Lauren
Hill. Thank
Lauren
you.
Hill.
Thank you, Dean Lowry, in the truck for refreshing my memory there. You know, one of the things we learned, I'm not sure if this is the DIPG situation here in your story, Josh, but childhood brain cancer receives a minuscule of funding, and just a tragic story. I think we all know someone who has been potentially affected by that, whether it's a Kevin Bacon 7 degrees separation sort of thing or not to make light of the situation. But, you know, hopefully if you're looking for a charity to donate some money or time to, you look into, you know, childhood brain cancer, childhood cancer in general. Just tragic, a lot of times, and thankfully here a tremendous ending to that story, and prayers to her and the family for a continued recovery and a long life. Just under 6 minutes remaining here. We're halfway through the third quarter, a 27-0 lead. West is trying to get out of the shadow of their own end zone and not being very successful at this point. That pass was intended for number 11, Jamal Kelly, and unfortunately it looks like we're starting to see a little frustration out of the West All-Stars. They just can't seem to find any answers offensively against this West defensive onslaught.
Yeah, when Patrick talked to Coach Johnson before they went into half, the one thing that he harped on was nothing mechanically or anything like that, but just settle down. The guy's got to settle down. And right there, that case in point with that throw and missed opportunity there.
Fake handoff. Farmer's going to keep it. Tries to get the edge, and he cannot. He's going to be brought down at the 10-yard line.
The ball for the West. He's brought down by Josh Anderson.
Trying to find something that works. Actually, that was Damon Cherry. I'm sorry for the error there.
That run's good for 5 yards.
Gets 5 yards.
3rd and 5.
Keeps the drive alive, but sooner or later, I think you got to start taking some big shots down the field, Josh, with about 17 minutes of football left to be played in a 4-score deficit at minimum.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you hate to start getting real risky, but it is an all-star game. You definitely have tricks up the sleeve.
There we go. There's a big one down the middle and hauled in by Jamal Kelly. He was covered up pretty well by Brian Donaghy, punt blocking and touchdown scoring fame. But maybe a little spark here for the West.
Great throw by Damon Cherry. He finds Jamal Kelly. Jamal Kelly, first team all SWOC, had 177 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns in his senior year. We'll look for that one more tonight on this drive, maybe.
Man in motion. Ball is snapped. Clean pocket. Long pass down the middle of the field, nearly intercepted. Very nearly intercepted. That one was intended for Isaiah Lovelace, his teammate from Northwest High School, off his fingers and in and out of the fingers of a couple of East defenders, Josh.
Yeah, that pass was almost caught by 4 or 5 guys right there.
Yeah.
Had an opportunity for it. And it's good to see Cherry airing it out, They've really got to take some shots down the field soon here.
They're going to keep it.
Oh, man.
On the ground there. Was that a strip? Yeah, East has the football. Flag comes in. Helmets are off.
Stripped and fell right into the hands of Josh Anderson out of New Richmond. And
wow.
He puts the ball on the ground.
Well, that is an unfortunate turn of events for the West All-Stars, because it looked like they'd finally found something that was going to work a little bit, and then
the ball is recovered by Josh
fumble.
Anderson.
On the field. Stripped right out of his hands there.
Not even close to being down. Looked like Davon Williams that was Anthony Carmichael, perhaps helping there.
The call is a face mask on the West.
I don't think I did. Could just scratch that all together. But nonetheless, the football is back in the possession of the East with a very short field. 1st and 10, 25 yards to hit pay dirt. 4:40 remaining. Akeeman Williams is in the backfield with Carmichael. Carmichael looks to pass. Pocket holds up. He finds a hole in the middle and darts through it. Advances the football out for maybe a yard to the 36-yard line. It's Josh Taylor in at quarterback, excuse me.
He's tackled by
Taylor had an opportunity to
for the West.
Break one through there. The defensive line for East did a good job of keeping their lanes. Saw a lot of the secondary and linebackers drop back there. Nonetheless, only a 1-yard game.
A lot of running for a yard, but more importantly, it keeps the clock a churning away. Taylor again looks to pass, scrambles away from some pressure. He's going to keep it. Inside the 10, he's got a lane to the end zone and touchdown. A 25-yard touchdown scramble for Josh Taylor of Western Brown. The route is on, my friend.
And look here, Glenn, and you can tell, I mean, as soon as he brings it down right there, his speed just outmatches anyone else on that field alone. That's pure speed, pure wheels right there from Josh Taylor. His 25-yard touchdown run extends the lead to 33-0.
Wow. They just haven't been able to find anything for the West that is going to work. And Josh Taylor getting it done with his feet.
The point after is no good.
Point after try is no good, so the score will hold at 33-0.
Quarter, the East leads 33-0.
Well, Josh, what do you do if you're the West at this point?
You get creative, Glenn. I mean, and what really needs to be done here for West is Coach Johnson and his coaching staff just needs to keep the spirits up, because you can tell on that play right there, and let me say, Josh Taylor, again, did turn on the wheels there, but you could also tell that almost midway through that play, the pure defeat in some of the guys' faces for West was there. And if you're Lee Johnson, you just got to harp to these guys to go out there and have fun. Let loose and have fun. You're down 33-0. The odds are coming all the way back. Not to say that we have not seen that on Friday Night Football on ICRC. We have seen it. Yeah, ask Milford. But the odds of that happening are fairly slim. Lee Johnson's got to tell those guys, go out there and have fun. You know, a lot of them, it could be their last game. It's definitely their last high school football game. Go out there, let loose, have fun. That's all you can tell these guys at this point. And that's all you got to do.
We love covering this game, so I don't mean this as an insult. But at the end of the day, the only time somebody really talks about the streaks and the wins and losses in this game is about the time it occurs, you know.
Right.
For these West players, it's an opportunity to put on the shoulder pads, snap the chin strap one more time. So take advantage of the 20 minutes or the 15 minutes and 30 seconds you've got remaining in your high school football career and just leave it all on the field. Know you went out trying your best.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we could get into the East Side, West Side discussion all day in Cincinnati, but it's not like this game is the one that brings out the bragging rights for the East Side or West Side.
Kevon
Sanks of Aiken fielded that kick at the 1 yard line and advances it out to about the 27-yard line, so we'll see where it's officially spotted. But nice return for Sanks nonetheless, and another opportunity for West to attempt to capitalize on a little momentum, Josh, and find the end zone. You know, it's one thing to lose the game. It's another thing to get shut out. Don't know the last time we had a shutout in this game. I'll put you to work on that. But I don't think we've had anything close to a shutout in the 4 years I've done this.
The last shutout was in 2006. The West beat the East 35-0, and that was the last time other than 2014 that the West won.
Yeah.
Previous to that, 2 years earlier, West won 6-0 in 2003.
Yeah, we've 4 shutouts over the years. East on the losing end of 3 of them. West with 1 in 97.
Carries the ball for the West. He's
want to maintain that bragging, right? Nonetheless, the East has more shutouts.
The run is good for 17 yards and a West first
good
down.
run there. And I've said it before, and I'd love to say it again. Cherry with the carry and a big first down for the West All-Stars.
West, a little momentum continues here, approaching 2:35 to go in the third quarter. Glenn Olson, Josh Semstrott with you here from Kings High School. Patrick Geshin on the sideline, having the dreaded technical glitch. I'm sure we'll get him back in the fold soon with some interviews. Beautiful night here at Kings High School.
Beautiful, beautiful. Nice breeze coming across from the river and the Peters Cartridge old powder factory across the way, and Kings Island just shot off a test firework over the South there, and you couldn't ask for a better night for football. I want to thank the Kings. I'm assuming that was the Kings football boosters came by, offered us some refreshments up here in the booth.
It was very nice of them. How awesome. Thank you, Kings. Speaking of the Peters Cartridge Factory, work recently begun on a renovation. Going to have a brewery and tap room coming in, some residential, some retail. Passes bobbled around, nearly intercepted. So some exciting things going on in Warren County as usual.
Ryan Kerman of Little Miami almost made that interception there for East. And
what a story for the Little Miami Panthers this year. And unfortunately, their head coach has moved on to Hamilton, but first time in the playoffs in a very long time, and some exciting wins over in the SWOFCA. So just a tremendous showing by the school just a bit up the road here in Warren County.
We were talking about, you know, crazy conferences next year. We talked about the GMC. The SWOFCA could also the SWOFCA could also get pretty interesting next year, but we've got the man of the night. As we see a pass down the field. Wide open.
He released that. He took a lick as he let that ball go.
Man of the night, though, Glenn, down with Patrick on the sideline.
From the East All-Stars and Nakeeman here, right here for Kings High School. What's it like to play your final high school game on this very field?
It's pretty nice. Having a lot of fun out here. My last home game, basically, and being with all these new guys and everything like that are from around the state. It's pretty nice. Having fun.
You just finished 4 years of high school football. What's your favorite high school football memory, if you can pick one?
Favorite memory, I want to say clutched up the game junior year versus Lebanon with a 98-yard touchdown. That was pretty nice. It was in the fourth quarter, too, and that sealed the game, basically.
East High School, your East team, talk about how close you guys are.
We're pretty close. Like, us and Kings is really nice, and then I guess these people here, we've on the east side, we've all got really close over the past 2 weeks and everything. And it's pretty nice because I made a lot of new friends from around the district and around the state and everything like that.
Let's talk about your future, your college, your major, and why.
I'm going to Marion University to study business and with a focus of advertising. And I'm going to play football and run track there, so I'm going to be pretty busy, but I'm looking forward to it because it's going to be pretty fun.
Sounds good. Well, Nakeeman, thanks so much for your time and holding out with us here through the technical issues. We appreciate it. Have fun the rest of the night.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you. Nakeeman Williams from Kings, the hometown boy. Guys.
What a tremendous athlete that young man is, and you've seen that on display here tonight. You saw it on display against the Milford Eagles, a game Mike Lorienti and I covered back in October here on a cold, rainy night at Kings High School. I think Josh is still trying to get his shoes dry from running cable and lugging cameras that day. But, Nakeeman Williams, to you and your family, congratulations on a tremendous career, and just congratulations on an outstanding showing here in this East-West All-Star game tonight.
Home kids showed up tonight. We've got playback schedule for you now.
For our Spectrum and Phioptic subscribers, catch the game on the channels listed at the appropriate time. And as I always like to say, you can catch this game and all the other content produced by ICRC-TV on demand at ICRC-TV.com, ICRC-TV.com. Thank you to Tim Newman, Jason Dudley, the entire staff, as well as the administration of the East-West All-Star Game for allowing us to bring this game to you. It's always exciting when I get the message, hey, are you available to work the All-Star Game? It's a fun time of year, laid back atmosphere here.
All-Star Game is always fun. Any All-Star Game is fun. Ohio's got another All-Star Game coming up here in about a month up in Cleveland. The MLB All-Star Game.
Very excited about that, or the folks up in Cleveland, I can assure you. And also the All-Stars in Northern Kentucky are playing their All-Star Game tonight.
That's right.
On Twitter. So some folks from the Bluegrass going out with the bang, putting on the pads and helmets one more time. Ironic, it's always on the same night. I guess it's first Thursday in June. These games match up on the same night. So
He's brought down by Luke
Completed pass there real quick while we were in that interview.
Yeah,
it was Chris Payne out of St. X, the 25-yard catch and run there. And now we've switched directions, and that's how we are where we are now at a 2nd and 5 on the 32-yard line for the West All-Stars.
We'll make the transition official. Josh Simsrott back on play-by-play to bring it home. Josh.
Cherry's pass is looking like it's going to be good for a first down.
Cherry's pass is complete.
Isaiah Lovelace, I think.
Isaiah Lovelace.
Yes, sir. Isaiah Lovelace with the
Tackle
catch.
made by Jason Griffin for the East.
And Patrick's going to have another interview from my alma mater in Mason after this play here.
It's 1st and 10.
Stop was made by Jason Griffin, defensive back of Batavia. Or from Batavia, not of Batavia.
1st and 10. Cherry's going to dump it off the same way to Lovelace, this time for about 4 or 5 yards. And now we'll throw it down to Patrick Geshin on the sideline with a Mason comment.
Anthony Molinari from Mason. Anthony, let's start with your future. Ohio State for biomedical engineering.
Tackle made by Jason Griffin.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds smart, but it's
play is good for
getting
6
pretty popular,
yards.
and I'm
It'll
excited.
be
I mean,
2nd and 4.
it's something I'm passionate about, so I'm just excited to get there and get into the classes.
Let's talk about your year at Mason, a pretty successful year for you guys. What was it like to have a senior season, and what was your favorite memory of your senior season?
I mean, being back for my senior season was just amazing, and being with all my friends again. And then favorite moment was either the Sycamore game or the Princeton game. Sycamore game, Chase Evans, like game-saving field goal block, and then Princeton, I blocked a pass to basically seal the game. And just being back senior year after not being there junior year was great to feel those things.
I remember that Sycamore game. It was pretty crazy. For younger high school football players watching, talk about what type of advice would you give them as they get later into their career?
Listen to your coaches, and then just bring it all in and embrace like the brotherhood that you have, because these are going to be your friends for life, and like everyone I played football with, like I would die for.
Anthony, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it. Best of luck in the future next year at Ohio State.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anthony Molinari from Mason, just down the road from here, guys.
And after thank you, Patrick. We had, while you were gone, a big run by Cherry, and then he just handed it off, and it looks like we have our first West touchdown on the night from Ty Mincy out of Mount Healthy.
ICRC community representing tonight. Nice job, Ty Mincy. West avoids the shutout.
Great carry, Cherry. We'll see the carry Cherry here, or the Cherry carry.
Look how close he is to getting this in.
Oh man!
I mean, if this was the NFL, they might have ruled that a touchdown. They had video, access. He deserved it. That was a tremendous effort.
And just squeezing in is Ty Mincy there, and now the extra point.
It's pretty sad when you need to be an attorney to understand the NFL rulebook, right?
Yeah.
That's why there's so many of them that on-field officials.
7-33, West is finally on the board, courtesy of a Ty Mincy 2-yard rushing touchdown. Patrick was with Anthony Molinari, interior linebacker, led his Mason Comet defense or almost led second in tackles on Mason with 47 tackles, and was first team all GMC right across the highway at Mason.
That's saying something to be first team all GMC, as we talked about earlier. My opinion.
Yeah, I mean, tough division, and he talked about that huge play in the Sycamore game where he blocked that kick. That was an amazing play by Molinari. Definitely one of his highlights from his career as a Comet. Patrick's got another one lined up for us down on the sideline. Patrick?
Shandon Morris from Middletown. Shandon, talk about your senior season. What was your favorite memory from it?
My favorite memory from my senior season was our very first game. We played Western Hills. I had 4 touchdowns, I believe, 6 or 7 catches, and for 168 yards.
What's been the best part of playing in this game so far?
Having fun, really. Having fun, celebrating when we score. That's about it.
For people that don't know much about Middletown High School, what's the best part of playing at Middletown?
We a family. No matter when win or losses, we're family, no matter what.
That's good, Shannon. Thanks so much for the time. Best of luck in the future. Have fun tonight.
Thank you.
Shannon Morris from Middletown, guys.
Thank you, Patrick. The Middies up north working on having a big year next year. And that always competitive GMC.
Yeah, for sure. As talked about, I think the GMC might be a little bit of the Wild Wild West this year, my friend.
It should make for some great competition. I'll tell you what, the landscape of competition in Cincinnati high school football is really going to change over the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Got a lot of already. They announced the division changes for next year and years to follow, and you're going to have some major conference mix-ups, especially in the ECC.
Went Woods, Lebanon, making the move over to the ECC. Some conferences, quite frankly, may be in doubt, but what did come out this week are some division changes, Josh. Aiken's going to move up from Division 4 to Division 3. Also moving divisions, Taylor from 4 to 3, Bethel Tate from 5 to 4, Campbell Montessori from 7 to 6. Western Brown will go from 2 to 3. Nicholas, the Rockets, from 3 to 4. Taft from 4 to 5. And one of our communities, St. Bernard Elmwood Place, will move to Division 7. So a lot of coaching changes we talked about, athletic director changes, conference realignment, divisional realignment. Exciting time for those of us who follow the prep game here in Cincinnati.
Cherry throws one out and a diving grab by Michael Crawford. Set up about a 2nd and 3, 2nd and 4 situation. And I'm imagining if you're West here, as we tick down under 9 minutes, that
it'll be 2nd and 6.
It's going to chew the clock out at this point.
Give it the big tie, right? And plows way up the middle. So do appreciate those of you who have tuned in either on demand or checking out our live stream tonight. A couple of folks we know well here. Ryan McGahey, former ICRC-TV staffer. He's produced and directed this game, and I've worked the game with him in the booth tuning in. Sent me a text to say hi, and working with Jason Dudley, a guy you know pretty well, Josh.
I do know the executive producer here very well. And got to see Ryan make a special appearance in a little parade we did for Memorial Day. So, yep, down at the Reading Parade, walking, I believe, what was his son's baseball team through the parade. So, say hi to Rhino and the gang out there tonight.
Nice.
And yeah, if you want to see more of that parade coverage, that was the Reading Parade, Glendale Memorial Parade. Plenty of patriotic coverage right now over at ICRC-TV.com. We got the 100th anniversary of one of the oldest World War I monuments, as Cherry airs one out there.
Well, he got rattled around in the pocket there a little bit. But
Damone Cherry's pass falls incomplete.
What you're saying is I think it's important that our folks at home realize ICRC offers a lot more than high school sports. Do a tremendous
and there's
service to our communities.
Oh yeah, there's plenty out there. And I mean, this thing that we're doing this weekend, we've been working towards in Reading, Ohio. They've got one of the oldest World War I monuments in the country and the oldest one in Ohio, and they're rededicating that Doughboy Monument on Saturday on its 100th anniversary.
It'll be 2nd and 10.
A lot of cool stuff going on there. Check it out, ICRC-TV.com.
I want to finish that thought on the patriotic fever here in just a moment, Josh.
Cherry airs one out to the side there, was looking for Isaiah Lovelace, almost got picked off behind him.
So for those of you who are watching this live, today was the official commemoration of D-Day 75 years ago. And very moving tribute here to start this game. The Hugh Watson American Legion Post 530 out of Green Hills. Post I know from my high school days presented the colors. You could hear a pin drop in the stadium when they marched those colors out to midfield. And then a tremendous rendition of the national anthem by two women, Renee Fisher-Moore and Julie McGuire. So, ladies, just, again, a tremendous rendition. A moment of silence was observed regarding D-Day. Just a very moving experience here tonight that kind of puts the freedoms that we have to, watch and play and broadcast a game into perspective. 150,000 troops from the Alliance dropped in to the beaches in France that day. And, I made a comment to you, that's like 2.5 Paul Brown stadiums filled to the brim. So just ponder that, the overwhelming force that showed up that day to fight for our way of life. So our World War II veterans, unfortunately, are getting fewer and fewer in numbers, but a tremendous representation over Normandy. And thank you to everyone who fought and served in World War II.
Yeah, very well put, Glenn. I mean, the tribute before the game was incredible. We were talking about the 96, 97-year-old veteran paratrooper that recreated his descent down onto Normandy at 96, 90, or 97 years old. Really, really moving tribute around the world on the 75th anniversary of D-Day. I think we've got another interview lined up with Patrick Geshin on the sideline.
Jameel Clark on the tackle for the East.
Dreaded technical glitch at the wrong moment. We'll try to get Patrick into better microphone range, Josh.
Yeah, not a wireless microphone out there. Not a whole lot of range for him. We'll see if we can't get him back here in a minute.
And one last thought on the D-Day conversation. I know it doesn't have a whole lot to do with why we're here tonight to celebrate these seniors in high school football, but I always like to point out things that are memorable in the news on a given day when we broadcast it for historical perspective. I'm sure some of these players will, catch this game on demand or buy the DVD available through ICRC-TV.com and be watching this someday and realize that this game was played on the 75th anniversary of the D-Day invasion.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty incredible as we see a little dump off there. That'll get about 5 yards or so.
Josh Taylor's pass is complete to Will Eads.
Just wrapping up this whole conversation, Wes, one of the greatest things about public access stations is that stuff is always there. One of my favorite things to do back at the studio is walk down our archives hall and just see some of the gigantic tapes from back in like the 90s, 80s, and there's these tapes that I've never even seen tapes like that. And kids these days would have no idea that they're so many just physical big boxes that have videos on them.
Well, back in the day when I was volunteering through my high school, Forest Park High School, for what's now Waycross Media, there was no on demand, right?
Right.
You would have to tune in on your set-top tuner to the public access channel and perhaps record on a VHS tape or buy a copy from Waycross, get it dubbed. So just as I said, a tremendous service that is provided to the citizens of the communities, and maybe not an overwhelming number of people participate and appreciate it, but those who are impacted by it sure do appreciate it. I can promise you that. It's always fun as we make the rounds around the city for various productions, to talk to athletic directors, coaches, players, parents who said, hey, I caught your broadcast.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys doing that. So,
well, and especially for games like this. It's so great for games like this because, some of these kids are going to go on to play in college, and handful maybe get to the NFL maybe, but for a lot of them this is it. And so to have that commemorated, such a great thing. We got a 2nd and 5 now. Dumped off and taken outside, going to try and spin it the other direction, and he does.
Nice job by
Shandon Morris is going to reverse fields all the way. We got a flag down in the backfield.
Oh, he's mugged from behind.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe a face mask over there. It doesn't look like it, but boy.
Block in the back, unfortunately, against the offense. It's going to wipe out a tremendous effort by Morris. There you see jet sweep, changes direction, comes back around, and here comes the block in the back coming.
The East is called
right
for
there.
A block in the back.
Yeah, and that's tough because as you want to give him more room, especially when he's brought it back all the way. I mean, that was nonetheless impressive from Shannon Morris there to switch fields on a sweep like that. That's not easy to do when you're running a sweep.
I would wholeheartedly agree with you, Josh. A tremendous effort wiped out by a penalty. It just drives players and coaches crazy.
And that is the one thing, Glenn, though, when we're talking about penalties, I don't think, and I won't speak officially on this, but I don't think that the West has really had a penalty tonight. But the East, and we really didn't have a penalty up until the end of the first half. And then the end of the first half and beginning of second half, East had quite a few penalties there. And another one here to nullify a big play from Shannon Morris.
Yeah, it's been a minimal amount of laundry on the field. I would agree with you, Josh.
And now you have a second and very long for the East All-Stars, and now we're going to have
there's one.
Some more laundry on the field, and this might shorten that long play up. We'll see how they call this. It looks like an offsides to me.
That's what they would call unimpeded to the quarterback, right?
Right.
Could have been unimpeded all the way to the locker room.
Aggressive encroachment.
The West is called for offsides.
33-7 is your score. The East All-Stars lead. We are just under 5 minutes to play here at Kings Stadium in Kings Mills, Ohio. Josh Semstrott, Glenn Olson on the call with you tonight, and Patrick Geshin on a sideline. And we're going to have an interview with him coming up with a Roger Bacon player.
Keeman Williams scampers back onto the field. See if they go back to him.
2nd and 24 from the 47, and we are going to have another penalty.
I don't know what Anthony Carmichael is doing with this cadence to draw these West defenders offside, but they've fallen for it twice in a row now.
The call is offside.
Same player.
So we had a block in the back that sent it back about 20 yards, and then we had 2 offsides to bring it up 10 yards. And finally, maybe we want to play here, and it's 2nd and 19 from the 42 now. Carmichael in the backfield.
I think East has something they're dying to run.
Fake the handoff, thrown over the middle, and it's caught.
Wow.
What a grab there.
Number 14.
Andre Allen from Walnut Hills, who had the 91-yard kick return touchdown earlier, comes up with a big grab here, and we're going to throw it down to Patrick Geshin on the sideline.
Nate Stark with me here from Roger Bacon. Nate, what's been your favorite part of this entire experience tonight?
I think just growing close with all my teammates and everything like that. It's a really good group, and we're all a bunch of hard workers. And I mean, they're the best in the city for a reason. The defense been locking it down. I just love meeting all these new guys.
When you first heard that you were going to play in this game, what was your first reaction?
I was super hyped. I was in my car on the way to like a school play or something like that, so I had to call him back. But the entire way out there, I was smiling from ear to ear. I was hyped.
For people that don't know much about Roger Bacon, what's the best part about playing there?
It's a small school, so I got a lot more opportunities than I would have if I played at oh my God! If I played at a bigger school. So I got a bunch of opportunities and got to meet a bunch of new people.
What a play there. Your East All-Stars just got a bigger lead. Let's talk about your future a little bit, your college and major, and then I'll let you go and why.
I'm going to University of Cincinnati, and I'm studying marketing. I'm not deciding to play football just because of a personal choice, but I'm super excited to go to UC. I've been around the campus all my life, and this is a dream of mine.
Well, appreciate it, man. Thanks so much for doing this. Best of luck at UC next year. Thank you. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Patrick. And that was Jermaine Wimpy with the grab down there in the end zone. And that's exactly how he made that Hail Mary grab for Princeton at the end of the season. Just went right over his man and brought it down in the end zone. We'll get a look at it after the PAT.
I would not want to have to select the player of the game at this point. You know, Jermaine Wimpy's had a tremendous game. Obviously, Andre Allen Jr. has had a tremendous game. Keeman Williams, not a very good kick there. And the kicker's a little shaken up.
PAT was blocked. Here's a look at the touchdown.
With 3:47 left in the final quarter, the East
leads
39-7.
Jermaine Wimpy, ladies and gentlemen.
And Marlon Gaines there, he had a couple inches on him, and Wimpy just went right over him. The kick was blocked there. Kevon Sanks of Aiken got to the PAT to block it. 39-7 is now your score. Patrick had Nate Stark out of Roger Bacon down there, interior linebacker. Led Roger Bacon in tackles with 68 tackles. Also had 2 interceptions. One of them returned 61 yards for a touchdown. First team all GCL co-ed Nate Stark of Roger Bacon down there with Patrick Geshin during that touchdown.
He could be a play-by-play guy. I love the oh my God in the middle of the interview there when
yeah,
Wimpy went up and caught that ball.
Wow, it's just crazy for the vertical that he had on that Jermaine Wimpy. And yeah, Glenn, like you said, to pick a player of the game right now, you've got Jermaine Wimpy, who had the crazy grab earlier in the game and then just had that crazy grab for a touchdown. You've got Brian Donahue of Sycamore, who had 2 blocked punts, 1 return for a touchdown. You had Josh Taylor has broken off a couple long runs tonight out of Western Brown, one of them for 25 yards. Andre Allen Jr., 91-yard kick return touchdown, and a big catch that set up that play right there.
Nakeeman Williams.
And Nakeeman Williams, the Kings High School product. 80-yard run, touchdown run, and a 6-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, just tremendous effort on that east sideline tonight. We've talked about it. I can't figure out why the East continues to dominate in this game, but boy, have they done it tonight.
It really is perplexing to me that the East not just wins these games, but tends to dominate these games recently.
Right. Well, again, last year, I think West sprinted out to an early lead, and then East came back and dominated from middle of the second quarter on, if memory serves correct. And you can go back and find that game in our archives at ICRC-TV.com. ICRC-TV.com.
Wow, I can't believe he just picked that up. That kick was rolling to the end zone, but maybe he has his own reasons for doing so. He's got it out past the 50, the 40. He's got one to beat, and it's the kicker, the 30. He breaks down the kicker, the 10, and finally brought down inside the 8-yard line, and the west sideline is going nuts for the first time tonight. A huge, huge play. Hajiri Pitts out of Fairfield decided to pick that up last minute around the 3. Glenn, watch this. This is going to roll out of bounds. They'd have the ball at the 40-yard line to start. Instead, he picks it up, breaks a tackle.
Amazing.
Gone.
Hajir Pitts. Tremendous season for the Fairfield Indians this year and a fantastic run late in the game here.
So if you were wondering whether West was going to score again, now getting a little riled up and might be getting a sideline warning here. Actually, I think we are looking for a ball, actually, before we can resume play here. But yeah, if you're wondering West was going to score again, Najiri Pitts has answered your prayers and given the West All-Stars a 1st and goal to start out. Not sure what exactly we're waiting on at this point. Looks like we'll get underway here. Cleveland Farmer back in at quarterback. And he's going to be brought down in the backfield. The big man, Elijah Hale from Princeton with a sack. Second team all GMC is Elijah Hale, the outside linebacker for the Princeton Vikings. Had 10 tackles his senior year. And a big sack there in the All-Star game tonight.
I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that Barack Falk of Mason High School is the defensive coordinator for the East tonight.
It'll be 2nd and 14.
What a tremendous job this East defense has done tonight in applying pressure to the West.
And oftentimes only with 4 on the line. They're only sending 4, that is.
Right.
So Farmer back, he's looking to the corner end zone, going to have to scramble again. He's brought down for the second play in a row. Another big sack for East.
Not a lot. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Josh.
This time it was Eli Cup of Wyoming. Sorry, Glenn. I think we've got another interview ready to go over on the sideline. Patrick?
Joe Wall from West Claremont. Joe, the game almost over. I'll get you back to the sideline in a moment, but just want to ask you your favorite part about playing in this game tonight.
My favorite part of the game was the entire 2 weeks leading up to it. Meeting all the guys, playing with them, playing with people that I played against in the regular season, getting to know people, making new friendships, and then coming out on the field and playing with all those guys and knowing that I got their back and they got mine.
Quickly, what's your plan for next year?
I plan to play at Thomas More for football, and I'm also going to wrestle and study exercise science.
Joe, thanks for the time. Appreciate it. Get back with you. Joe Wall from West Claremont, guys.
West Claremont Wolf.
Nick Ayers has to be proud. Young man conducted himself extremely well. All of our sideline interviews have tonight, honestly.
They've been great. I mean, the athletes here, the coaches here, Cincinnati high school football is what it is because of the great characters we have on the field, on the sidelines, and off the fields in the classroom.
Give a shout out to Patrick Geshen. My first year covering this game, I did sideline, and that is a tough gig. A lot of times players don't want to leave their teammates on the sideline and be interviewed. You know, we try to go get the folks from our ICRC communities when we can, but Patrick has done an outstanding job tonight and keeping up a variety of questions, and great job, Patrick. Graduate of Talawanda High School, on his way to Miami University. He's going to be a Red Hawk.
Yeah, congratulations on your graduation and decision, Patrick. And Farmer's going to fire one over the middle a little too high and out of reach, and maybe some big extracurricular
he got up
activities
swinging.
here.
Got up swinging.
And that is the last thing you want to see there at the end of a great night at the All-Star game. The last thing you want to see.
Things I never thought I'd see. Put that on the list. You know, you see a lot of face mask to face mask style confrontation, but that was a roundhouse that came in.
That was quite the hook, and Scott Jordan is not pleased with the conduct on the field right now. I'm not sure anyone is most pleased, and that's Glenn, I know it's an all-star game, and I know it's a bit of a lopsided game, but that's simply a despicable thing to do at the end of an all-star game like this.
Ron Woyan, this game is named after. It's out there trying to calm things down. Both players are going to their benches. Are they going to call this one a game?
I wouldn't put it past them.
I think
so.
That's what Ron Woyan said.
TJ Jordan, who came up after that play and threw that, he's already in the locker room, and Warren County already out here, and yeah, they're going to call this just for the safety of things. And you hate to see this end that way. You really do.
Yeah, like I said, earlier, it's, you want to end your career the right way, go out and leave it all out on the field, and that's frustrating to say the very least for a variety of reasons. Do not want to see that conduct at any time, and hopefully it's a learning experience for everyone involved, shall we say.
And it seemed like an accident, just your average, like over the top miscue. There's guy simply trying to make a play and accidentally went over the top, and that really unfair way to end this game, I think, to a lot of pretty much all the guys out here that played a clean game most of the game. Really unfortunate way to end, but nevertheless, the East All-Stars continue their dominating run here in Cincinnati, Ohio. The East Side 39, the West Side 7. And that'll make it 12-1 record in the last 13 years for the East All-Stars. And like you said, going back to the positives of this night, Glenn, I don't know who you choose as your man of the match here, as we see a beautiful shot of Kings Island there. You had Josh Taylor with a few big runs. Brian Donahue is Sycamore, 2 block punts, one of them returned for a touchdown. Jermaine Wimpy with another big touchdown catch there at the end of the game, reminiscent of his Hail Mary winner for Princeton. Andre Allen Jr., 91-yard kick return. Nakimon Williams of Kings High School playing his last high school football game on his high school field. He had 2 touchdowns and a big 80-yard run, a 6-yard run. Ty Mincy of Mount Healthy, he got the 1 touchdown for Ty Mincy, the 1 touchdown for the West on a 2-yard rushing touchdown. And they're going to mob down there at the 25-yard line, the East All-Stars. Victorious again at the Ron Woyan S.W.O.F.C.A All-Star Game. We'll be right back with an interview from our winning coach, Lee Johnson. Stick around.
If I play sports for my school, I'll learn how to be part of a team.
I will have more friends. I will be active now and when I'm a grown-up.
I will learn how to work hard.
I'll have better attendance.
I'll learn how to overcome adversity. I'll be more likely to go to college. I will learn how to get along with others. If I play sports for my school.
If I play sports for my school.
If I play sports for my school.
I must learn to be a good student during school if I want to put on my uniform after school.
Hi, I'm Clark Kellogg. I've attended basketball games from coast to coast over the years as a participant, broadcaster, parent, and fan. And believe me, I've seen my share of unsporting behavior. The purpose of school sports is for kids to have fun, develop their skills, and learn lessons that will last a lifetime. So when you attend a school contest, please keep that in mind. Remember to behave in a way that reflects positively on your child, your school, and your community. Let's respect the game.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
And another big win for the East All-Stars. Patrick Geshin has the winning coach, Scott Jordan from Waynesville High School, down on the field.
Head coach Scott Jordan of the East All-Stars. Coach, what did it take for you guys to get the win tonight?
I'll tell you what, it was a total team effort. Our D-line played unbelievable, shutting down their offense. Offensively, we had a lot of weapons we gave the ball to. Nakeem Williams ripped off 2 big ones for us early. These guys all week long just practiced hard. They were organized. They showed up. A lot of intensity. You can see how much they loved each other right there, and they really gelled and came together as a unit. So it was a great 2 weeks, and it was a great experience with these guys tonight, and for them to get the victory, I'm really happy.
I've heard your players talk all night about how close this team is. What did you just tell them in the huddle after the win?
I walked up, and we talk a lot about the streak that the East is on, and I said the streak is alive. And I said we did our part to keep the streak going for the East because it is a badge of honor for our side. I had coaches this week calling me saying, Coach, keep it going, keep it going. You know, Andy Olds, one of the great coaches in Southwest Ohio, told me, Coach, keep the East streak going. So I did feel the pressure of that, and it's great that they fulfilled it. They came together, they traded decals. I could see them, doing celebrations, and they did gel, and they loved each other, and they subbed, and it was a great team. It was a great 2 weeks.
Well, Coach, congratulations. Thanks for your time. Waynesville High School is very proud of you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks, guys.
Welcome. Head coach Scott Jordan, the East streak continues now 5 straight years. Glenn and Josh.
Job on the sideline tonight. Thank you again, and looking forward to continuing working with you in the future. So 39-7, Josh, is the way this one ends up. It ends on an ugly note, but hopefully the memories will be mainly positive for the players, coaches, and fans here tonight.
Yeah, I really hope everyone can forget what happened there and remember that this was really a great night. You saw a lot of talent displayed here tonight from the Cincinnati High School football area and
community.
Athletes. The whole community. I mean, look at the field right now. I mean, this is a great scene to see all that whole community out there just celebrating not another East win, but just the accomplishments and the end of the careers for these kids. Right. And I really hope that these kids can go home tonight and be proud of what they put out there, win or loss, and be proud of a great high school career.
I think high school football is very special in the entire state of Ohio, but no place more than here in the Cincinnati area. So, again, congratulations to the coaches and players who played the game the right way tonight.
And as Ron Woyan S.W.O.F.C.A All-Star Game tradition always ends around 10 o'clock, 39-7, and at 10 o'clock, Kings Island fireworks go off. So we'll leave you with that from Kings High School in Kings Mills, Ohio. For Glenn Olson and Patrick Geshin, Dean Lowry in the truck, and our entire ICRC-TV crew, the East All-Stars win 39-7 over the West All-Stars. You've been watching ICRC-TV. Good night, folks.